Go!
Welcome to the RetroUnlim podcast live stream. Ah, it paused up already. What a good start. Start again.
Would you like me to do it, Scott?
No, fuck off. It's my turn. My time to shine. Welcome to the RetroUnlim pod. Fuck me. Really? Welcome to the RetroUnlim live stream. My name's Scott, the console snob, and with me tonight is Michael, Harry Yack, the 90s video game dude Rich, and Xander.
No, that's the way to introduce a show.
Yeah, third time fucking lucky.
The temp special. Fucked up already.
Fucked up already. What a good start. All right. So, how's everyone doing?
Wonderful, wonderful, very radiant and lovely.
Doing
Thank
pretty
you,
good.
Scott.
Fucking care to elaborate?
So, Scott, what have you been up to this week? Anything interesting?
Not really. Just been playing a lot of that online.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah, baby.
Feeling fucking pretty shitty, but yeah, I've not had a really productive week, but yeah, it's all good. Playing a lot of games.
Well, at least you have a new microphone today.
Well, it's a new old one anyway.
A reappropriated microphone,
Yeah.
let's say.
Oh, Michael, I was getting excited. I thought you had a power glove.
It's the power amulet.
It's a power amulet.
It's my Assassin's Creed.
Oh, it's your
Cosplay
thing.
enthusiast.
Yeah, I'm going to be using it for some cosplay.
Sweet. Deadly weapons in the name of.
That's what I do.
He's not really going to be using it.
No, just fucking. You'll just get arrested for having a 3-inch weapon in a fucking bathrobe.
I get arrested for having a 10-inch weapon.
I was like, what? I apologise, officer. I didn't see you there.
No, I had a friend of mine who got arrested one time, and I think it's a friend, so fuck him. And he got done. His friend got done speeding. He was in the car, and of course they declare, "Have you got anything sharp on you? Got any sort of weapons on you?" And he had the littlest, shitless little key ring with a bullet, and you unscrewed the bullet, and you had a little tiny like a paper opener fucking blade. Well, he got done for that. He got processed, and he had his rap sheet. And this is the day before my birthday. So the following day we get released is my birthday. So we're all down the pub having drinkies, and he gives us his rap sheet. And the offence was having a 1-inch weapon. So you can tell how much fucking euphemism jokes I had from that. Oh man, that's funny.
What did you do? Did you take it off him and give it back to him framed for his birthday?
Like, fuck you, I'm taking this. This is funny. I think I had more enjoyment than he did. Shit, this is a key ring. Nope. Yeah, so that's my little story time. Moving on.
Yes, yes.
Story time with Snob.
Story time with Snow.
So you guys had a lot of fun in Manchester. Yeah.
Manchester.
Manchester.
Those of us who went.
Yes.
Which, out of this chat room here, was myself and the 90s video game dude.
Hello. Dude. Yes, it was a lovely time, and I had a lot of fun, especially on the Saturday night when, oh, here comes Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Oh, clean shaven.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, hang on.
Clean shaven, there you go.
Ah, there you go. I recognise
There you
you
go.
now.
My headphones, they hurt my head. I had to do a system restore a few days ago, so it doesn't like my webcam anymore, and I'm back to shitty webcam.
Oh, it'll do. We can
Yes.
see you, Dave. We can see you.
That's why I shaved, because it adds 0.5 megapixels to my face. How are we all?
Oh, good. Oh, good. We're just retelling our stories of
Yes.
Play Expo.
Oh, you bastards, I hate you all.
My
Yeah,
drunken,
so was I, though, when I didn't fucking show up.
my drunken antics with Stu. Is he here tonight? Is he going tonight?
Are you experimenting?
No.
No, Stu isn't here because he's nursing an enormous Play Expo hangover. Either that or he's
Oh,
DJing
man.
as usual.
I heard that he's fixing the tech systems on Battlestar Galactica, because someone's got to do it.
Stu
So-
is the jammiest man alive.
Yes, indeed, he won something, didn't he?
He won a Saturn for playing Oculus Rift.
And didn't he half flaunt it on Facebook?
He did, and yes, he did. And he was supposed to win a PS Vita, but
I think, let's be honest, the Saturn's probably the better of the two.
Yeah, but see, it wasn't even opened. It was like brand new.
At least I can play Shinobi X.
Rich, did you get a chance to have a go at the Oculus Rift at Play Expo?
I didn't. I was going to have a go at the after-show party in the bar, but I was too drunk.
All right. So,
I like the fact, am I the only person who thinks the Oculus Rift sounds like a season finale for Quantum Leap?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Oh
If that's
boy!
gonna catch on. It's just going to be, for me, it's just going to be a migraine fucking face mask, you know. And it's like the 3DS. I can't have the 3D on because my eyes are like.
It just doesn't work.
can't
For me
fucking- it
because
doesn't
one of my
work,
eyes
mate.
is knackered.
You'll need
I
to
can't-
buy a
it doesn't work.
2DS.
Basically, I can get more enjoyment out of going to like the local museum and staring at that picture and trying to find the boat than I can out of a 3DS.
It's one of the reasons why I didn't watch the Avengers for like nearly a year after it was released, because I see it in the cinema, and me being a fucking idiot, I bought the 3D fucking thing, didn't I? So I'm like that throughout the whole fucking film, trying to see what the fuck's going on.
I've just got this
And
impression.
it completely ruined the movie for me, because I couldn't get into it, because I'm fighting fighting a fucking migraine to fucking watch the bastard.
Based on your new manly intro, I've just got this image in my head that if I ever go to the cinema and Scott's there, you can just hear at the back just going, yeah! Fuck! Woo! Tits and guns!
Oh, I don't know why I did that a couple of days ago. After playing that Lords of Thunder game and that intro music, it was like, God, I gotta have something cool for my intro. So straight away, I'm on the fucking
I love
Google,
Lords of Thunder.
trying to find like well, it wasn't free. I ended up paying money for the explosion animation things and just going fucking nuts with them.
There's no god if you have to pay for explosions.
Yeah, I was like, fucking God, whose dick do I have to suck to get explosions around here? I was like, well, fucking $1.99 each, and that'll do.
$1.99 for that's a very reasonably priced explosion.
dollars. So it's about, I don't know, about £5. I don't fucking know.
I don't think it's that bad, man.
Oh, no.
So tonight we have a brand new guest with us. His name is Xander. Hello, Xander.
What's
Hello.
up, everyone?
Hello, Xander.
Hello.
Your
Hey.
time to
Hi.
say
I
hello.
loved your work in Buffy. Sorry, you got me
Yeah, I
sick
worked
of
really
that.
hard on that. Well, it's better than the Sabretooth. The Sabretooth impressions I always get. I always get people like, hey,
Oh,
like Sabretooth.
You shouldn't have mentioned that, should you?
Hey, I loved you in X-Men
You
Origins.
should do Sabretooth, but you should do it as a snarf impression.
No.
That's right, because apparently, and it's not because of this, it's just because I watched it last
Green
night.
Thundercats.
Apparently, I'm this bloke right here.
Chris? Oh,
Break.
which one of the Baldwins is that?
It's not, it's Keanu Reeves. Don't
Wait a
liken, don't liken me
Put
to
it
a
back up
Baldwin.
again.
I'm not
Put it back
fat,
up
and I
again.
don't beat children.
He looks like one of
Try
the
again, mate.
Baldwins on that.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Look at him. He's a Baldwin. The one that's the
He
weirdo.
looks more of a Bowen than fucking Keanu Reeves. What are you talking about?
Group vote, right? Third Rock. Bill and Ted. I'm going with Bill and
Bill
Ted.
and Ted.
Dead.
That was his best fucking role. He hasn't
Now,
really
now that we've successfully solved that dilemma and the world can sleep easy,
he's
continue.
failed upwards.
So now we've introduced everybody, I think we should move on to the regular slot. The birthdays. They've made their slot permanent.
Dave Perry's birthday again.
Yes. It's Dave Perry's birthday every week.
It's not actually my birthday. I just opened the card early because I wanted the money.
But 37 years ago today, 1975, Mrs. Longboy's Post was sat enjoying her last weekend of peace and quiet, as in 5 days' time, little Dave was born.
Yes! And what the fucking amazing event that was at. It should be like a holiday or something. It should be Lawn Boys Day.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Dave.
All we gotta do is play games and fucking eat biscuits.
It's next Tuesday, but I fucking got college on my birthday. They should like make some rule that no one has to go to college on their birthday. In fact,
It
college should
seems
just
like any self-respecting person going to school on their birthday. Fucking don't go.
Well, I want the qualification.
Well,
Because-
fair enough.
Then I can save the world.
Well, yeah, you can't really dodge it like you could when you're 15.
Where do you go to? Where do you go to college? The League of Super Friends College.
Yes.
Super friends.
There's two buses, 3 connecting flights. It's kind of like Area 51, but I go to the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, fucking
Nice.
more like the
It's
Institute.
cold.
Speaking of
I
school,
was gonna say it's pretty cold there.
oh, well.
Thermal. You just find one of those little green crystals and stick it in something. And...
Yeah,
But the thing is, the
right,
problem with
right.
Fortress of Solitude is since all the computers look like crystals, you just fumble around for ages just tapping away with a crystal. Where's the fucking disk drive?
I bet it's fucking hard to fucking hang up a clock there.
Other birthdays this week. We have Martina Navratilova, is 57. Robbie Savage, the ex-footballer, is 39. And the Nintendo
No one cares.
I do, because I like football.
The Nintendo Entertainment System, the Nintendo Entertainment System in the United States of America, as told to me by Rich, is 28.
Yay!
Yay!
Sorry, what was that? Was that TerraGraphics' fucking birthday?
Yes, if
Let's
you
get
prefer.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
I have to fucking be like that because I only got 3 games for the NES. Well, the 3 games that matter anyway.
I've got 7, and 5 of them are NTSC, and even though I did the chip, they all go very slowly in 50 Hz.
Oh, yeah, that's why I haven't bothered collecting from NES.
And one of them's
because
Silver
that one
Surfer, so I
sucks.
don't play it because otherwise I could get very angry and kill
You end
them.
up, yeah, angry
Oh, the
video
other
game
one's
nerd fucking
X-Men,
proves
so
you
I
that.
get even angrier.
Well, that's what you get when you buy LGN games. You should know by now. If you watch any Angry Video Game Nerd, don't buy LGN games.
They were kindly donated to me, although, as I suspect, given away for free because they wanted them out of their collection.
That don't surprise me.
that reminds me, at Play Expo last
You know,
week...
there's
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say there's like one game that everyone always tries to pawn off other people. It's Bayou Billy. Have you ever noticed that that's one game that like you buy like a game from your friend or you trade or something like that? They're always like, hey, I got this game if you want it. It's
Got you
always
something for
Bayou
your
Billy. Like, no
birthday.
one wants that in their
I
collection.
get that with Sports Total. If I buy a job lot and I was like, hey, I'm going to get 9 games that I want, and there's that one sport game I'm never going to play.
Scott,
I just
send them
look
to
at it
me.
like, God
Yeah,
damn.
I'll have them. I love sports
Yes.
games.
I don't mind sports games, but I could not see the light of me fucking collecting them. they just
No.
sit on the shelf.
You buy one and you ignore all the revisions and just
Well, I've
be
got-
perfectly
I-
happy with old
I
teams.
did get NHL 96 on the Saturn, and that's fucking awesome. I love that game. I love NHL games anyway, so
Scott,
it's probably
I don't
a
want you-
sport game that is tolerable.
I don't
to
know what
me.
you're talking about, Scott. I treasure my FIFA 95 collection. I have at least 6 copies of
I
that
know
now.
you do.
Where is it? Hang on. There is an exception to the rule I'm going to show you.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, and hang
You're
on.
back.
Yeah, I had to kick myself.
Ready?
My webcam wasn't doing my
Shit. I love
Oh.
football games, but this is shit.
So which version?
Did you do a video on that on Video?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Is it worse than FIFA 64?
Or haha!
Oh, there's
EA
a,
Hockey.
Oh, EA Hockey is
Sweet.
great.
Fucking
Hang
love
on.
that game.
there's a FIFA 64?
Yes, and it's
Yes.
bloody awful.
This is terrible. The only good thing about this is it's got David Platt on the front, and it reminds me of that goal in 1990 against the Belgians.
Yes, it reminds me of Pizza Hut advert.
He may be on the front cover of that game, but he's not in the game, is he? Because all the names are made up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. David Platt on the front cover of the game for the 3DO. Yeah, you can tell he got the shit deal on that one.
But with all
told-
EA Sports games, they are in the game, as it says.
I think it was just a stock photo, personally.
Yeah.
Do you know what they should have just done with EA? It shouldn't be EA because it's in the game. It should be EA because it's in the code. Because those bastards pioneered that shite.
One thing, alright, if you're going to be nostalgic somewhat between EA, I really miss EA Big. I love that fucking brand. With
EA
like
Sports.
SSX Tricky and all that.
Oh,
EA
yes.
Sports Big. I love that shit. I don't know why. It was just like, oh, this is awesome. You know, especially for SSX Tricky, because I played that fucking constantly for my fucking teenage years.
Oh, SSX is
Awesome.
good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love a
fucking
bit of
great game.
SSX.
Oh, me too, yes.
Did you say SSX or did you say XSX as in the French missile?
Both.
Both.
He was
Just
saying
explosive.
CEX.
Yes, I love a bit of CEX,
I like
Yeah.
CEX.
which is
because I
great
find
to
if I
trade
really-
into. But
If I
not
really
buy-
need to kill 25 minutes, I'll go and buy a game in CEX.
Oh God, the queues in that place are just fucking stupid. And they've always got like a huge stack of games which they never worked through. There's
Yes.
like one little place where you can actually get served, and the rest of it is just games.
I'm convinced the reason it takes so long to get served in CAX is because they've got this weird policy that everyone has to rotate once to go outside and have a fag. You know,
Yeah.
constantly, when you go outside CAX, there's an employee having a fag, and then when you come back out, there's another employee having a fag.
What
And
I
they
loved
just got
about
this-
it.
It's like when you take those balls on a string and you drop them, and they go. That's CEX smoking policy.
With the
Yeah, 'cause
smoking e-cigs.
I traded my fucking copy of PS3
Yeah,
and
they need
GTA
to
5.
go to these.
So I thought, right, we'll get the Xbox 360 copy and play it on live. And I bought a copy from CEX second hand. I thought, okay, I've not been burnt by them yet, so how bad can it be? I went home, and speaking about burn, the disc was just fucking shredded by laser. Like, God damn it. So I went
Did
back
I even
there.
look at it though? That's what makes me laugh. Did I not?
Yeah,
do
they
what
don't even
everyone
look
else
at
does
it.
when you buy
I said
something.
to the
you
guy,
go,
I said, look, this has got a massive fucking burn. It's got a massive burn. It kind of a replacement. And this is what I love about their customer service. It's like, fuck it. Just give me another copy of it. Like, thank you very much. And I walked out. So,
I'm on a smoking break.
well, fair enough. I was talking, because I traded in a load of PS2 games because I was trying to get a shot of a lot of the fucking chuff from my collection.
The shrapnel.
Yeah, and the guy was literally just chatting me nerding out anyway because I had the band T-shirt on, and he was like, "Oh, you love the Hornet?" It's like, yeah. So it was like I was talking to him for like 25 fucking minutes. So as soon as I walked in there,
Exactly the same time it took for you to get your game refund.
Yeah. The second time I walked in, I was in and out by 25 seconds. He's like, "Oh, fuck it, and just give me the game."
Scott, when you said you were wearing the haunted T-shirt, I thought you were saying, "Oh, this game is haunted. I want a refund."
Oh, that shitty TV show. No.
When he said the haunted, I thought he meant he was going to say he was wearing a T. Seriously, I thought this. Sorry, Scott. I do apologise in advance.
You're an ass.
I thought you were wearing a T-shirt about that TV show with the chick who used to be in Blue Peter.
Oh, right, most haunted.
She used to show kids what to do with sticky back plastic.
Yeah.
I'll show you what to do with sticky back plastic.
Let's make a Christmas ornament that will burn
Yeah.
your house down.
Yeah, they bloody advent candles. They are not safe. They don't have that anymore, do they?
No, they're not allowed to.
I thought not.
Yeah.
Here's the advent flamethrower.
Now remember, kids, take your piece of asbestos, lick both ends.
And remember, you get a parent to help you while you're doing that.
Get your parents to
I
handle it.
ought being told by the throat while doing that.
Oh, but the thing is, though, their Tracy Island was fantastic.
It was very
Yes, I'll give them that.
good. Didn't they make the turtle sewer den as well at one point? I'm sure I made that from there.
I
With
don't
a
know,
Pringles
you're a lot
tube.
younger than I am.
Yes.
Are you sure that wasn't a cut out and keep version from the Daily Mail or something?
I think it could have well have been. I'm sure the Daily Mail were big on the turtles back then. I do remember though, back when the
Don't
turtles were
say the
huge.
N-word.
I'm sure the Daily Mail probably ran a story based on all their current stories that said Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles give you cancer.
I
Yeah.
think that was
Yes.
probably right.
And never say ninja, because it will definitely give you cancer.
T-U-R-T-L-E, cancer.
Did anybody ever go
I never
to?
understood that. I never understood that.
No.
Because
we don't.
apparently they thought that if we heard the word ninja in this country, we'd all go batshit crazy and mug a granny with our sigh.
Oh, we weren't allowed nunchucks in this country either.
Yeah. All the Bruce Lee
Yeah, so
movies
we
were
made our
heavily
fucking
edited.
bet. We
Well,
made
yeah,
our
the Bruce
own,
Lee
so
movies were
what?
heavily edited, weren't they, to 2002?
What a pointless thing. Do you remember the in Asda when the turtles were huge? They did a special chocolate and marshmallow pizza, and
Ew.
Oh, I think I was just sick in my mouth.
and when you walked into Asda, they had turtle footprints which led from the front door all the way to the deli counter, so you could go and buy your chocolate and marshmallow pizza. I never had one though because my mum was saying you are stupid, you will never go to eat that.
Yes,
because
and I
it's-
agree with you,
I've
Mum.
got to say,
I
mate, I'm
also agree with my mother.
and that's
Yes.
the reason 1/3 of the country's children are diabetic.
Yes. This is
Chocolate and marshmallow pizza.
Saying that, it reminds me of a video that James Rolfe made. He made a video of him testing out all the recipes from the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series.
Oh no.
Oh man, it's pretty fucking rough. Just
Oh,
watching
no.
him eat all like anchovy,
Oh, yeah,
all the
yeah.
like weird ass ingredients. Ugh. Not fun. Fun to watch,
I've never
but not
eaten
fun to
an
eat.
anchovy in my life, but I think that's because I've come to the conclusion that most sensible people is fish has no place on pizza.
Fish.
That is very true.
Have you guys ever heard of Neo Kobe pizza?
What?
No.
It's a very geeky thing. It's out of the game Snatcher. And there's actually some instructions somewhere online if you want to make it yourself. Basically, you've got to dip your pizza into soup, and it sinks, and you've got to catch it before it comes back up again, and that's how you make it, according to the game.
So that's how Hideo Kojima made his millions.
Yes. With
Actually,
pizza
it's
soup.
Really,
I quite like that though. That sounds cool. Can I use any soup, or is there some sort of level of buoyancy we need?
Yeah, like a thick tomato soup, would that work?
Yeah.
I actually have a
Hello?
I actually have a really funny story with Ninja Turtles. They actually filmed the first and second movie where I live at, and when I was a
In
kid,
your
I was
house?
like really sick.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, yeah, they filmed that in my town, and I
What
got
time
really
is
sick.
that?
I had to go to the hospital, and when I went to the hospital, say what now?
What town is that?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
What town?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Aha.
Shout out.
Wilmington.
Yes.
He's
Go
from
and stalk.
their country.
Woo!
Go on, continue.
Anyway.
I'm
Say what?
sorry. I do
Oh,
apologise.
No. Everyone was cutting in and out. I couldn't hear everything. But no, I got sick. So I went to the hospital, and the doctor was talking to me and everything, and he was like, "Well, I had to get a shot for some reason."
Hello.
He was like, "Well, you're very, oh, someone's in here."
Carry on.
You're never going
Wait
to be
just
able
a
to
second,
finish
but,
this story, are you?
Go on,
Anyway,
go on.
The doctor was like, I know.
So I want to know. Come on. I want to know.
Yeah. The doctor was telling me, congratulate me for getting a shot and feeling better. And he was like, even Ninja Turtles get sick. He points over to a stretcher, and apparently, like, someone was the stunt double for Raphael went to the hospital for an injury. So he was still in this turtle suit, and he gave me a thumbs up. It was the coolest thing I've ever
amazing.
seen,
That's
like an
fucking
actual
awesome.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
awesome, man.
in hospital. I thought it was
Oh, yes.
Did he have the old mask on as well? So he's
Yeah,
like,
so-
hey guys!
that was neat. That was really
His
cool.
fucking jaw
That's
flapping now in
amazing.
terms of filling.
Yeah, he was still in the whole get up.
It's not a big indictment
See
to how
his
good
eyes.
Did he-
stunt double skills are, is it?
Did he still have his weapon? Did he have his weapon with him?
No.
Oh.
There was disappointment in your voice.
Yes.
Anyway,
Selfish
let's
turtle.
introduce our next
No size.
inductee into the RetroUnlim live stream. Give it up for Patrick, Mr. 8-Bit Relic.
Hold on,
Hi,
hold on.
how's it going?
How do you do, Patrick? You're right.
And he's fucking dropped out of the call, probably.
No, I'm there.
Hey!
There he is.
Hey, it's applaud.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I will try to sort out my camera at the moment. I have always some kind of technical issues.
Well, that's
It's
okay.
because the entire country's internet in the United Kingdom is one copper cable.
Yeah.
That's why they call us United Kingdom. Because we all share.
I'm not even there.
Oh, that's right. You're Emerald Boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, make a wish. Lucky charm.
He's Emerald Boy. He's Sonic.
Did you say Hemorrhoid Boy?
Emerald Boy. Yes,
Probably hammered.
that is going to be my superpower.
Technical
Emerald Boy.
difficulties.
That's going to be the new mascot for Stuart's fucking console when that finally comes out.
He just looks at people when they
Hemorrhoid the
get hungry.
Hedgehog.
Hemorrhoid.
Hemorrhoid the Hedgehog. It runs really fast because it's far easier than sitting down.
Ow!
And if he does sit down, he
Just
gets
a
the
giant ham
effects like
hock.
PC
Guys.
Kid does.
It gives a whole new meaning to the word, the fastest thing alive.
Don't you mean the fastest ring alive?
With his special friend, Donut.
Donut the ass cushion.
To bring us back down
Hey,
to
we're
earth.
doing better than the last one. We've actually managed to reference some video games before
Yes.
35 minutes in.
actually
Oh, brilliant,
talk about
yes.
stuff.
Well, to bring us back down to earth, I'm going to
He's
read
got a
out
little assistant named Dingleberry.
He just tags along for the ride.
All right, to bring us back down to earth, I'm going to read out some comments. We've got Chris Ashankt here, and he says, "Howdy doody, happy birthday, Dave."
Thank you, Chris. Please enjoy the T-shirt.
Oh yes, unfortunately he didn't bring that to Play Expo. We didn't get to see it.
But that's the only reason I gave it to him.
Oh well.
For fucking self-promotion, duh.
Well, no, actually it wasn't. It was because I wanted the stuff he was going to give me, even though I didn't know what it was. But Chris, if you are watching this, I forgot what an amazing book this is.
Ooh, Duffy.
Chris gave you that.
Yes, he gave me that, and he gave me Super Mario Sunshine.
I thought he was going to hold up
Nice.
50 Shades of Grey.
You should have seen the look on his face when I
50
took that
Shades of
randomly unannounced
Jean
it.
Grey.
Now that's a fucking comic book I definitely need to take a look at.
50 Shades of Jean Grey.
Yeah.
I also introduced one of Chris's cats to the wild accidentally. It's called Not Shutting the Door Behind You.
It's alright. It's right. Out trying to find pickups and games already.
It's the game, cat.
Unleash my minions. Go buy some crap.
Anyway, sorry, illustrious leader, we interrupted you again.
Are you talking about me there, Dave?
Yes. Because
Well,
you've got
actually-
a voice just made for radio. Nice.
Why,
See what I
thank
did there?
Yes. Welcome
Yeah, thanks
to
for fucking audio porn.
RetroUnlim Live X Live Late Night Edition.
Nice.
That's my radio presenter voice. So, Dave, I was going to ask you. This week you uploaded a video in which you posed the question: have you ever bought a game and inside the box was a completely different game? I think that was the gist of the video.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So I'd like to pose that question to everybody here in the stream, if I may.
No,
Okay.
I have full copyright on that question. You have to pay me.
Oh,
You have to pay me 5p when you answer.
5 pence. Okay, I'll write out your check right now. Here we
I
go.
bought a PS2 game a few months ago, and I can't find it anywhere because it had a copy. For some reason, I bought it at a charity shop, and there was 2 discs in there, and I pulled the game out, and underneath it was a copy of Android Assault on the Mega CD, and now I've got one. I've been fucking trying to find that game, because I can't find it anywhere now.
I
It's
think
really
you find
pissing me
that's
off.
because you took all your PS2 games to CEX.
Yeah, it's probably in CEX shelves right now, and I'm fucking pissed off because I traded it in. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did you trade them in like tin cans? You got 20 pence each.
Well, it was pretty pathetic at what
Just
prices I was
sound
getting.
really
but-
old. Does anyone else remember Corona bottles?
Yes. Well, the Coke ones. The
They were like bubbled bottles, and you used to
Yeah.
leave them outside your front door, and some bloke would like take them back,
Yeah,
and you'd
that's
get 10p
right.
a bottle.
Yeah.
So when it was collection day, me and my mates used to run around the entire village nicking everyone's Corona bottles.
Yeah.
But bringing us back to Dave's topic,
Sorry.
Chris Ashankt also says, Dave, what Mario game is amazing that you got recently?
Your Mario game. Because I can't get over. Alright, I know the GameCube is a very powerful machine, and people seem to think it's not. But the color effects on like the oil or goopy stuff in it is absolutely fantastic. Especially when the plant that comes out, it looks like the one from Little Shop of Horrors. It's
The
epic.
Yeah.
goopy stuff.
It is very nice. It looks like $1 million, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's very nice. It's really, really, really
You can
well
totally
done.
see where Mario Galaxy came from because of that game. Between Mario 64 and that.
Well, I think Mario Sunshine out of all of them is probably one of my favourite games.
I do actually
I
have.
still don't officially own a cube. I've got a Wii.
You don't need to then, do you?
I
I
love-
actually managed to
no,
pick
I
this
want
up the other day. Yay! And I still haven't
Mario.
played it.
Mario 64. Oh god, don't tell Dave Perry that.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a developer.
Fuck you, you're a fucking asshole. Oh, sorry, out again.
Here we go.
When did you
God,
turn
don't
into
tell
Scooby Doo?
Nah, I've already said
Like,
this.
run,
to you.
Scoob!
He did that one day. It was at spur of the moment on one of our podcasts when it was just me and Harry, and oh my god, I fucking cried laughing. It was so funny. But yeah, Mario Sunshine is a fucking quality game. I really need to find a copy of it, which isn't overpriced, which is going to be fucking.
It doesn't
difficult.
have Paper Mario on the inside, although apparently I lucked out extraordinarily.
No, we can see your face.
Oh, Paper Mario's still a good game.
Exactly, that's much better.
Yes, Patrick's on Facecam now. He has to look shocked all the time.
So
Hang
he's
on.
out boudoir in my fucking boudoir.
If we could shuffle the pictures at the bottom and put Scott next to Patrick, it'd be like they're sat on a couch together.
It's like a chat show, isn't it?
Well, I've
There you
got
go. That's
fat
your new
cave and
podcast
senior
series, The
behind
Boudoir Twins.
We're open for suggestions.
Anyway, back to my question, people, because we keep drifting.
Yes.
And it's
Mario
the good one.
Bros. The original one. I still love this
Sunshine.
game.
Oh, me too. Although if I went back to it now, I probably couldn't finish it. It took me ages to complete it after I got it. I got it when I was about 8, and I mustn't have completed it for about 2 years, something crazy, and it was the only game I had.
I was too busy playing Castlevania to play Mario.
I got Mario. Well, the first time I played Mario was when I was about 8, and I didn't complete it until I was 27. So that's a good amount
Yeah.
of replay value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of
Mario-
game- Don't you find it's weird when you collect games, you buy games? Oh, I remember that from my childhood. You never actually completed or even got close to.
No.
Oh, God,
And then you go and play them back years later, like the Ninja on the NAS system. I loved that game as a kid. Could not get past the 3rd level,
Sexy.
and I stuck it in. And I did that review for it, but I started playing it a couple of days before that just to get myself back into it again. And I completed it first try, and I thought, that's not too bad. So I put it in again and completed it again and again and again. It's like, fucking hell, it's easy now. Back then, it used to kick my fucking ass.
Yeah. The only game that I can think of back in the day that I completed was Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
That's a pretty
Oh,
good
I
epic
completed
game
that.
No,
to complete.
I've done all of them.
Yeah, the only game that still pisses me off to this day, and I still can't complete it. It's Castlevania 1. I still can't complete that
Oh,
game,
it's
no matter
fucking
how many
hard,
times
yeah.
I try.
What was that?
That's not mine.
Somebody's
Sorry.
message.
That's me.
On
Sorry.
the same text tone, so like when
Franchise.
Lucan's like, what the fuck?
Rich, I'd
Yeah.
have thought your ringtone would have been, no, this is your voicemail, isn't it? What's up, dudes? This is the 90s video game dude's phone. Leave a message after the tone.
See, I would have done that, but say me, I don't know, my auntie rings me or something. Just like, what? Who the bloody hell's this? Or work rings me.
I apparently have a cross line with North America.
Right,
That's how
hello?
convincing your accent is, Rich.
Yes, it's probably the most convincing of all accents.
So, Rich, how did you stumble across your natural voice talent for faking Americanisms?
Well, it all started in the late 1970s when, as a
Before the
boy,
90s.
yes, when as a boy I travelled to the African continent, and I found there that I had to produce a few different accents just to get by. I remember one time when I was
Origin for
living
food. Took an
living
accent.
in Timbuktu, and I was speaking to rugged Ronnie Garving, the wrestler, and he wanted to know something I don't know about cats or whatever, and I found that the only way to make him understand was to put an American accent, and the rest is history.
And not many people know, but the natural defense on the African plains, should you be attacked by a lion, is
Get out of my way.
Whoa!
Whoa, dude!
because lions think, I'm not eating this guy, he's retarded, I might catch something.
See, tonight we have a genuine North American to chat with us, so he can rate your voice.
Don't rate my voice.
Fucking Xander's probably facepalm right now. He's like, oh, God, these fucking assholes. Xander, your time
yes.
to defend your country.
Thank you
Time's
very-
up. Ha
Thank you very, very much, Rich, for that little story. That was fantastic.
Yes, and it's a very true story. Although I was only born in 1981, so being late, it's true. I have a DeLorean.
No, you don't.
Well, no.
I have a copyright on that as well.
I'll be honest with you. When I discovered your
I
channel,
have a hot
through-
tub.
When I discovered your channel through watching Dave, it's when I clicked it on and started watching the videos. It's like, why is he doing a real rip off of Linkara's 90s dude?
No, he's
And I was
not.
like, no. At first, I thought, what's going on? And I started no, actually, he's doing his own fucking thing. It was
No.
really funny.
He's doing a rip-off of Electric Eddie from Gamesworld.
Who
Well,
the fuck is
I
Link
gotta be
Carroll?
honest, I just thought we were watching a video that was live streaming and he was having a stroke.
What?
Sorry, everyone.
I
was
missed
having a
that one.
stroke, I do apologise.
More comments then, do you think?
Yes.
Smooth
Well, you
MJ.
could finish my question.
No.
Smooth MJ says, United crapped him.
I would concur.
Insightful comment there, Smooth MJ.
And Colo CPC says, hi all. And Console Snob says, hi CPC.
Well, I'm being pleasant. What are you talking about?
You
That's
are.
my fucking life. I tell you what, though, Dave, I'm gonna have to redo my video for you because after watching all these other Sexy Biscuit videos, I've got to step up my fucking game.
Kind of got away from
It's
it.
exploded, man.
I
It
can't
really has.
believe I did it as a joke, and I can't believe that people have run with it in such a way. I can't believe that Lazy Game Reviews did one for me, to be perfectly honest. But there you
Yeah,
go.
that's fucking awesome. That is.
That's the power of Sexy Biscuits.
Yeah. That ain't no sexy biscuit.
And also
That's a sexy biscuit.
as well.
Right you are, Duke Nukem. Right you are.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
So, what are you drinking tonight, Dave?
I'm drinking Fanta.
Oh, yes.
I decided that when you say Fanta, you should say it like Sega. Fanta. Although, what would that mean you would say it if you were Australian? Fanta. No, that makes me South African. Never mind.
Fainter.
No disrespect to any Australians or New Zealanders watching, but am I the only person who doesn't understand why they say Sega?
Sega.
To be honest,
Sega.
I always said Sega for a long time when I was a kid. It was always Sega.
Yeah, but in your defence, you were in the African plains.
Yes, that is true. In fact, it was that me and my friend used to, instead of saying goodbye, we used to say Sega.
Jesus, Rich is on form tonight.
I am. I'm not even drunk. I'm on Coke Zero, but I am on crack.
Has actually somebody tried to translate Sega into Italian?
What was
Yeah, that
that?
probably is in Italian. Yeah, it probably is Sega in Italian, isn't it?
Sega in Italian means in jargon just you wank.
Fucking hell, I bet the market was
So when, that gives a whole new definition, doesn't it? When some mother knocks on their child's door and they go, "What you doing?" I'm furiously playing Sega.
Sounds like a euphemism to me. It's like the Toyota MR2. In France, they had to change the name.
Yeah, because it means mad, doesn't it?
Yes, MR2.
Yeah, Mons de la mer d'Esti, which is the only French you'll ever need to know. It basically translates to eat shit and die. Oh, and the other most useful phrase you can learn in French, because I lived in Montreal, and my seat in the bar, it was kind of a cheer setup. My seat in the bar was the one nearest the door, and obviously in winter it's -40. You really do have a fond, reckoning for the phrase "fermez la porte," which is "shut the door," because chili biscuits. Oh, new catchphrase, chili biscuits.
Chili biscuits.
Mr. Benway's done a catchphrase, I would
Chili
like to
biscuits. Chili biscuits. Penguin biscuits.
say. I'm Penguin's
Yes.
banned in North America because something in them gives you asthma. Obviously. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I already have asthma. Or I used to.
That's because
So
you ate
there's
too many
penguin biscuits.
all those fucking penguins, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Whoa, you can also eat penguins?
Oh,
Pe-
Xander, your audio is slightly muffled.
Hold on, let me fix this.
Rich, get in your time tub and hot tub or whatever and sort it out. Billaboop, billaboop, billaboop. Sorry.
And all of a sudden, he'll pop up in
Got
Xander's
it.
Yeah.
Castlevania poster in
This
the
coke's gone bad.
back. What's in that coke?
That's
Well, I
Wayne's
don't-
basement, only that's not Wayne's basement. Hey, God, there was a haiku.
How am I
Do
now?
not eat
That
the
sounds
red
better.
rub licorice.
Yes.
No,
It is slightly better, Xander, but
Being-
it's still muffled.
yeah.
Hang on, I'll try and fix it with
It's
my
trying
mind.
to pick up the mic on my webcam, which
Oh,
sucks.
there we
I'm
go.
on-
Yes,
Oh,
there we go.
Now
Here
it's
we
well.
go.
Well done, Dave. That was your mind
There you
powers
go.
there.
The live stream starts here.
So, no,
Yeah, sorry I hopped out earlier.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
hang on.
I couldn't hear all of that, like, Brad. Keep it up.
Oh, I broke the sound.
Try again.
Crazy.
That's why you don't play with it halfway through the stream. It'll drop
Dear.
off.
dear Xander.
Oi.
Microphone sounds as though it's switched back to a different one.
I think you find, though, based on every live stream we've ever done, at least one person has to have technical difficulties for 3/4 of the stream every week.
Yes, it's a
Google Plus,
prerequisite.
I'm telling you.
Patrick has passed the baton on to Xander.
Perhaps it's harkening back to our first one where we couldn't get online for until about 12:30,
Oh,
wasn't
please don't talk to me about that.
it?
Anyway, people, I have
Alright.
epic news. You
Ooh,
probably
yes.
won't know this,
Okay.
but And normally I wouldn't like stuff like this, but I'm totally on board with this. There's going to be a one-off special this Christmas of Open All Hours.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yes, there is.
What with the
How many
original
shows that
cast?
you'd watch?
Yeah,
I'd watch on
yeah,
Sunday afternoon.
There's
you
a
know?
corpse in the corner. Sorry. No, but
Yeah.
basically Granville and Harry.
Granville.
Granville.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're all on YouTube. You can watch them in their entirety. The entire 3 seasons of series. Sorry, pardon my French.
Find your word.
Of Open All Hours are on YouTube.
Oh, did the BBC upload those?
No, but there they go. I just think
no,
I'm
come on.
taken down,
Yes.
haven't I?
Well, they're going to be taken down soon then, aren't they?
And then we shall stream them through that little program I have on my desktop. I mean, I'll just watch them and appreciate them, BBC. Actually, no, fuck you, BBC. I pay an exorbitant amount of money every year for your fucking license fee that you blow away on people's fucking pensions. So, damn it, I'm allowed to download BBC shows.
Yes, you are.
Ooh, as the feed goes dead.
That's the pipe bomb. Bang. There we go.
That's it. Big Brother has shut us down.
That was funny though. Did you see it? That government thing when they were having a pop at the BBC because that bloke whose contract said if he retired they had to give him £500,000. They gave him £1 million. And when they were asked why they gave him £1 million, they said because we needed him to concentrate on his work, even though the contract said £500,000. To which my obvious answer is, how is he concentrating on his work when you're paying him to retire?
Yeah. I'll be thinking about skiving off until I get fucking
That
retired.
doesn't make any sense.
I do remember the first time I tried to explain to a Canadian why we had a license fee, and they said, Why do you have to have a license for your... This quote, this is real. Why do you have to have a license for your TV? It's not like you can kill anyone with it. Well, we have to have a license fee because basically it's like this old school network of idiots who all sit around patting each other on the back, going blah, 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 and don't have football on, decided that we should
Sounds like
pay
our
for the
website.
right to watch TV.
Well said.
It could be worse. You could pay the fee for Irish television.
Oh,
The Irish
God,
have
yeah.
TV license.
Yes. And we have only four channels actually or something.
So it's like us.
And one of them is even Irish, so I don't even understand some bloody word they speak.
What's
Four
the
channels. I can't believe Ireland has to have a TV. Sorry, Ireland, if anyone from Ireland is watching, but you're one of us. You got a TV license.
Germany has also TV license, to be honest.
Oh right.
Oh my God! I thought it was just us being punished because England's 25 years behind the rest of the world.
I'm in
I
Ireland. I
thought
can
we
confirm
have-
we are only also here 25 years behind the world.
We also have here people in power who kind of like to suck a bit of knob.
And speaking about sucking no, Geary's.
You clearly can't hear us.
Fucking timing.
Best segue ever. If only Scott did this first.
Say
Yeah,
what you like
not
about
fucking up
it.
three
You can't
times.
hear us.
Hello, James.
Hi, I'm fashionably late.
I was going to buy you a game when I went to that bazaar again, and I'm not making this up. He wanted £10 for an unboxed Smash TV. I put it down and backed away quite quickly in case he was going to charge me for putting fingerprints on it. He only wanted 20 quid for his SNES, and he wanted a tenner for Smash TV. I was like, what?
What? That's ridiculous. Guys,
Too
can
much.
you remember how to make the pictures appear at the top of the screen instead of the bottom?
No.
No, mine's just done it automatically for some reason.
You have to be Paul Daniels.
Well, I was going to say, don't you guys hate it when you go to a retro store and they have like something on display that's like really awesome, like say a Neo Geo or something? You're like, oh, how much is that? They're like, oh, that's just for display. We're not selling that. Don't you hate that?
I had the same as the Virtual Boy, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're
like a
in
worm on a hook.
completely different world there, Xander. We have to scrape and fight and kick and just to even see a fucking Master System card, let alone a fucking Neo Geo.
Patrick actually looks like he's in the Virtual Boy at the moment. He's all sort of red.
Yeah, but Sander, when that person said that to you, that's only for display. I hope you told him exactly what you thought of his display policies.
And you
Yeah, I felt like just smacking it.
That's like, what?
I just want to think about your display right here.
It's like rocking the shit out of it.
Basically,
Like,
his
this is my display, sir.
his shop approach is
Just grab it and start rocking it up back and forth like, fuck the system!
That'd be a great pick-up line, wouldn't it? Like, the old just goes, I would like to go back to my place. I'm sorry, it's only for display.
Yeah, really.
Makes
Okay.
it even more attractive.
Well, you should go in there and you should buy a game. When he asks for the money, you should just grab it, run off, and then turn around and go, sorry, it's only for display. And then knock over the Neo Geo on the way out.
Colo CPC says
Just
that he,
grab it and be like, Magician Lord!
Colo CPC says that he bought the Amstrad Turtles arcade version, and the bloke sent me the right box, but the tape inside was the bad platform version instead.
No! Particularly bad on the Amstrad, the Spectrum, and the Commodore.
Well, when he said that to me, it's like, man, I
Ooh,
need to
Rich
find
is off to
Turtles in
Narnia.
time again. Yeah, off he goes in that fucking cupboard again.
Our-
What is in that cupboard?
Our resident
Probably just,
comedian.
probably just a load of tissues and belts.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's off for a Sega. Sorry.
Now I have picked up the wrong game before. I went to a flea market and bought Contra Shattered Soldier on the PS2, and I didn't open up the case. And I got in the car and I was going down the road. I was like 30 minutes away from the flea market, and I was like, I'm gonna see what the disc looks like, because for some reason I didn't think to open it up before I bought it.
Never
It
did.
had Knockout Kings 2002 in there.
Fucking sports game of all things.
I was like, son of a bitch. That's horrible.
Did you cry?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but I believe you said that all EA boxing games are boss.
They are, but still, it's Contra, you know, Contra,
Yeah.
boxing game,
Yeah, good point.
Contra.
I actually had this issue that I really liked this a card game of turtles. You know, back in the day.
Oh, really?
But I heard, it's out for a Nintendo Entertainment System for Commodore 64, and I thought, hey, I buy it for Commodore 64, and I got the first part.
Oh, shit.
I have never played a so sucky game like that.
Yeah.
I
It's
heard
like
that
that.
in some parts of the the world that they used the original platform version of Turtles for rehabilitation in prison.
Fucking
Understandable,
torture, like.
I know, it's like Mario 2 though, isn't it? I know, why don't we take a game that someone else made and just plaster sprites on it and everyone will buy it?
Someone else didn't make it though, did they? It was still Nintendo's game. Or
Yeah,
Miyamoto's game, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't a Turtles game, was it? Or was
Well,
it?
Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about Mario 2.
Mario 2, you meant.
But back when I had a PlayStation first time, when Wing Commander came out, and that was on multiple discs, and I bought that game. I was so hyped for it, even though the PlayStation port was a bit shite. But I was like, oh man, this game's going to be awesome, I got through, I think it was 4 discs.
It's just Heart
So
of the
I got
Tiger.
through, I got through disc 1 and disc 2. I put in disc 3, not work. I'm like, what? I opened it up, and there's another disc 1. It's not disc 3. I had 2 disc 1s, disc 2, disc 4. Like, no, you got to be kidding me.
So you never got to experience
I never
the
got to
full Mark
complete it,
Hamill
no.
experience.
Yeah, that sucked.
I bought a copy of Hot Fuzz from CEX for £1. And I wondered why it was so cheap until I got home and it only played the first 10 minutes. I looked at the disc and there was a giant
Scratched the
blob
balls,
of glue
yeah.
on it.
Oh, I have to with all my used DVDs, which I buy from GameStop, to be honest. That's the reason why I stopped buying them.
Hmm.
I
It's a
would
good
have
idea.
been pissed. I'll be like, £1? I paid £1 for this shit?
Well, at least I got the extras.
That's
CD.
10 lucky dips I'll never get to experience.
Exactly.
I got the extras DVD, which was worth it on its own, really. So there you go.
No, you know.
Anyway,
Has
quick.
anyone seen this? There's
Bad
Conker's
Fur
Bad
Day.
Fur Day.
What the fuckity fuck?
How much? Get that.
Jesus.
£1 million and £3.50 postage as well.
That's very reasonable
I
postage. isn't it?
think that might have been
What?
a slight typo. You can't have Conker's Bad Fur Day for £1 million quid.
Look, it's got 43 offers.
What?
Right, that's
Nah.
because it's
That's
packed
huge
full of
gold.
a massive amount of high-grade drugs and it's clearly a smuggling scam.
All to the shit.
Yeah, but the 43 offers are not for the 1 million.
Unless the fucking pins are made out of pure gold. So it's like,
There is no way I'm buying that because £3 for standard delivery, I'm not paying that.
I still see that every now and then on eBay. You always see some fucking idiot or just an asshole. They put a retro game on there for like couple hundred quid, and they think, oh, that's what the asking price should be. It's like, are you
Nonsense.
fucking joking?
I think someone should play eBay Russian roulette. One of you should put a bid on that game and hope you don't win it.
Fuck that shit.
It reminds me of Play Expo last weekend. The amount of overpriced games there was amazing.
Yeah, but you expect that at an expo because there's going to be just loads of resellers.
Was it really bad? I was just going to say, on the whole, were there any like gems, or was it literally just overpriced tat?
I think Stu picked up a copy of Syndicate on the No, sorry, the Master System for £6 or
That's
£8.
hard to find, yeah. Syndicate. I don't have the Master System and the Mega Drive. And the PlayStation.
I didn't find the price too bad. I got
Go me.
Diddy Kong Racing for, I think that was like £7 cart only, and in like playtime I think they're flogging it for a tenner or so. So it's not too bad for the stuff I found. I just bought a load of specky games and they were like £1 or £2 each.
That's okay.
And I got Action Force.
You should have got Action Force 2.
No, I should have got. Yeah, well, I didn't have Action Force 2, unfortunately. I nearly bought Moonwalker, but
On the Spectrum.
on the Spectrum, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that game. Sorry, I'll join in.
Yes.
Have you guys ever played the arcade version of Moonwalker?
Oh yeah.
Very different.
Oh yeah.
It's so different, but it's fun.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
great.
cool. It is pretty cool. It's one of my.
I did a video on it, and I have to say a massive thank you to Smooth MJ for getting it to work for me. Imagine that, Smooth MJ being the expert on Michael Jackson. Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Imagine that. Carlos,
you give him anything else other than Michael Jackson, he doesn't know what to do with it. Give him something with Jacko on it, and it's like, woof. Instant fucking genius.
He jumps on his toes like that, and lines come out.
Colo CPC says he also got lucky once. He won an auction of Squeak for the Amstrad CPC, and inside it was the Squeak tape, but also a tape of Super Squeak, which came out a year later.
Super Squeak.
Both games are pretty rare too, so definitely got lucky there.
That's one thing I'm getting more interested in now is the 8-bit computers. It's like a game like Squeak, I can't imagine being £100 fucking game, you know. So how do the prices go when it comes to Amstrad? I think fucking Monkey Spats would probably be the expert here, but he's not in the chat. He dropped out. What a fucking leave me hanging. Fuck sake.
If you go to the expos, you can pick them up for £1.
Yeah, that's
Got
what I
little
thought.
bargain
It would be
bin.
just
Well, it depends
fucking
actually
cheap.
if it's in good condition with manual and extras and this kind of stuff.
He's back.
I could imagine that some collectors are paying this kind of price. Why not?
What's his Amstrad?
Yeah,
I
was going to ask
Exactly.
him.
Even
I asked the
the
question
game system
fucking-
is unknown.
Sorry.
At Revival, I got in the Lucky Dip. I got a an Amstrad tape which had 10 games on it, but it was all in German.
Am I the only person who probably thinks Xander thinks we're just making computers up to fake the foreigner?
I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Xander,
You're gonna get back onto the Auric 1 again.
Did you have the Amstrad CPC in the States?
Fuck no.
There was an
Probably
American
not.
Spectrum.
I mean, honestly, I'm not. I've never really been that big into computer games. Like, you know, the biggest memory I have playing computer games was like an Apple II when I was a kid, like that, you know, stuff like that, and playing like Oregon Trail or like Word Muncher. But you know, I didn't even get a computer like for my house until I was like a teenager. So I just never really got into PC games.
Well, when it comes to you guys across the pond there, it wasn't really a big. It wasn't a big scene there, was it? Really, it was more of a UK thing, especially for like Codemasters and Bitmap Brothers and all that stuff. They were like the big fucking pioneers when it comes to computer gaming.
Oh, it was.
You know,
There's
most of you
Spectrum
guys.
in the C64 were
Most of you guys in America are more about the NES. You know, that was the biggest thing.
Yeah. You know, I even didn't know about the Sega Master System until I was a lot older. Like the Master System, the TurboGrafx, a lot of those systems, they just didn't make it on my end of town or like my area in the States. It was just mostly all about Nintendo and PlayStation and Sega and stuff like that.
Well,
But, I didn't even know about the
early days.
Nintendo
Nintendo had a monopoly on the whole.
Yeah, I was about to say
industry.
Nintendo had such a monopoly, you know.
But yeah, I was brought up on an Atari. I did have a Sinclair ZX Spectrum for a little while, but I think my main stay gaming console was the Master System. I fucking loved that console to death. Loved it.
That was my first console.
Did the West get the SG-1000? Did we get it over here?
The Master System. That's what turned into the Master System. The SG-1000 was basically a real heavy, high-powered ColecoVision, if you will.
Yeah.
It was, it wasn't there as a Master System, but it was close.
Yeah.
And most of the games got ported to that anyway.
Version of Bomb Jack on it.
Yeah, and most of those games got ported over to the Master System anyway.
Yeah. I had a quick go on one at Revival. It was alright. I didn't like the controller though. Controls a bit
Nah,
shit.
controls sucks. I haven't used one, but I watched a video of Luke Moss repairing an SG-1000, and he was modifying the controller because it's all contacts, not micro-switched. So, of course, the contacts just fucking erode. So he's micro-switching the controller, but before he played it, he was playing a little bit of Celeste, and that controller was not working at all.
I thought you said there was a game on it called Molest.
Celeste. Was it in EU?
It makes you
Power
want to
something?
play it.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called now. It's like Power.
Bonus character was Jimmy Savile, sorry.
God, not this again.
Now
In
then,
a
now then.
spaceship. Space Sabo.
When you unlocked him, you knew, right? Because the screen went.
Now then, how's about that then?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when I was a kid, I had the Jimmy Savile Stranger Danger book. Which,
I tell you what, wow, there's irony now.
it is, isn't it?
I had the Tufty book.
See, Tufty was fine, but I got taught Stranger Danger by Jimmy Savile.
God.
That's why I ended up in that dungeon for 5 years. That was after Africa.
Who best to teach you about these things than the worst offender themselves?
Well, it's like that. What's his name? The O.J. Simpson book. I didn't do it, but if I did do it, this is how I would have done it.
I would have done it.
Yeah.
Now, let's have a look at how it should have been done.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, let's have a look at what you could have won.
Yeah. Smooth MJ says, Moonwalker on the home computers sucks. You're welcome, Dave. I am indeed an MJ expert.
And there you go. If he says it sucks, then that's it. The word of the Lord.
Smooth MJ also said he's a web developer too. Dirty web developers. So I'm not utterly brainless. Yes, I know you were joking.
Good.
Dirty web developers.
Is you also
saying
joking?
What?
Sorry, every time it
What?
cuts between Scott and Patrick like that really, really quickly, it does literally looks like twins.
Well, where...
It just looks like your Batman poster's disappearing and reappearing.
Yeah, it's where the curtain is. It opens up every time.
You're just sitting on the other side of the room. I don't know what you want.
Just facing off each other.
Yeah. Scott throws something over and
It's like a really
catches
awkward
it.
Mexican standoff.
There you go. There's a segue for next week. Scott goes like that with a ball when you catch it. And it's called Sexy Boudoir Parlor Game.
I've got an original Xbox down here. I'll throw that if you want. That causes a lot of damage. But consoles that I got into later in life, I'm really stoked with some of the consoles I found, like the TurboGrafx especially. I absolutely love that system now. It's one of my favorite consoles of all time, and didn't really exist in the UK, and
No.
fuck knows why, because some of those games on there
tell you
were
what, right,
phenomenal.
based on CVG and Me Machines, if they released a PC Engine in its original format at the same time as the Mega Drive, I honestly think it would have been a big sort of,
Yeah, I would
Nintendo.
I definitely would have wanted one of those consoles, without a doubt.
See, that's the other thing that's
TurboGrafx. Even the TurboGrafx, like over here, it was just like, it was so funny how it would differ from city to city. Like some people, you would go in some stores and you'd see like a little TurboGrafx section in some department store, and then you'd go to some other city and they wouldn't even know what the hell you were talking about. Like it was just it seemed weird that HAL had such a weird marketing for their.
Yeah, they
for that
only
system.
released it to local markets, which is just mind-blowing, because the magazines, especially in the UK, they had TurboGrafx adverts in magazines up the
Yeah,
arse.
the same in
But
Germany.
you could not get, the only way you could get a TurboGrafx back then was through mail order. And so it was like, well, fucking what? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
So the only thing I don't actually remember the TurboGrafx. I always remember the PC Engine being in there.
Yeah.
Always
that's what
with
I'm trying to say, the
Box
PC
Adventure.
Engine. Yeah.
Always like Box. Well, was it PC Kid? Wasn't it?
PC Kid.
PC Kid. Yeah.
Sort your shit out.
Sort your shit out.
But yeah, I remember reading Games Master, the early things, and they always going on about PC Engine this, PC Engine that, and I looked over it back in the days. Same with the Neo Geo. The only thing that really got me into the Neo Geo when I was a kid, when I finally flipped over the magazine and saw a big. They had like sometimes when you flipped it over, they had the upside down like extra mag, and they had one just like a 12-page like big spread about Neo Geo. And when I saw like screenshots of Metal Slug and Fatal Fury and all these other games, it's like, wow, that looks so fucking cool.
I couldn't get my head around the price of a cartridge when I was
Yeah,
a kid.
me neither.
I was just like, what?
Well, even now they're a
I
fucking
knew
piss
better.
take.
I think it was about
I knew
100
better
quid
than
just for the
that.
plastic that it was made out of.
Well, the thing is, the Neo Geo, the main like flaw, if you will, when it comes to the price, is that they never compressed anything. When you had a Mega Drive cart or a SNES cart, they always found a way of compressing all the data to like, as low as it can go, so it doesn't cost so much on the chips. But with Neo Geo, it had 2 fucking PCBs inside the cartridge, which just stacked to the brim of chips. They didn't have no care about expense. You know, it was going to be a luxury console, and they're going to sell it to.
It was literally a home port of the arcade, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Properly a home arcade system.
Yeah, and they were, you know, unapologetic about it. You know, they weren't in it to make big bucks. Well, they would have done if they sold millions of fucking consoles, but
in fairness, the ports are great.
oh
If they are
yeah.
ports.
They're 1-to-1. They're not even ports, really.
Exactly.
They're just arcade games.
Yeah.
What's the Spy one? Well, it's like into the screen. It's like a first
Oh,
person.
Super Spy! I love that
Oh
game.
yeah.
That was one of my. I think it was the first Neo Geo game I reviewed on my channel, and that's how I met the SNK Neo Geo man. And he's a pretty cool dude. You know, he's a big collector, and well, that's why his fucking YouTube channel's called that. He's been collecting Neo Geo all his life, so he's practically got the full.
He's called Neo Geo Man because he's a big fan of Apple.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I love that system, and it always kills me when I see go on eBay and see AESs. I want to get an AES, but I can't shell out the amount of money that people are asking for. I'll get lucky, like I did with this Mega CD. I'll get lucky one day.
They had one in Cash Converters once, but it didn't have a power pack, and they didn't know what it was, so they wouldn't sell it. But I was like, I'll have it, even if it doesn't work. It's as close as I'll ever get to one.
I've got a spare power pack from my Neo Geo CD, so if you ever got that system, I'd fucking mail you the fucking power pack from my
Is it the same
console.
power unit, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Is it true that Neo Geo CD is a 1-speed disc drive?
Yeah. And my one,
It takes ages to load.
I'm still trying to find the problem why I have this fault, where I can't press the up button. It's not the controllers, it's the console. I've cleaned contacts, I've soldered everything, and it's still not working. So trying to play Samurai Showdown, and I can't jump. What's the fucking
Scott
point?
doesn't have opposable thumbs.
Well, I know they made 2 different models for the Neo Geo CD, and I think the second model they said, yeah, I believe like the later models, like the disc was a little faster, but not much.
Yeah, the CDZ is a 2-speed drive.
I know it's back then, but what if, like, unless they were trying to replicate the fact of the, you know, if they didn't compress on the cartridges, but I mean, like, why would you, my brain's just farted. Why would you take a system that loads instantly and then go, well, we'll give you a cheaper version. It loads not just a little bit slower, but yeah.
Well, the story is that SNK finally come to their senses and think, no, you know what? Actually, selling £250 games with a £700 console is a bad idea. Why don't we make something a little bit more competitive?
Yeah.
So because at the time,
the original one had a tape drive.
Yeah, when the CD console was released, it was going against the 3DO, the PlayStation, the Saturn. So by then, you know, everyone's moved on from the Neo Geo. And so they brought it out, but the problem is it was on a 1-speed drive, which was even slower than the Mega CD and the 3DO and all that at the time. So
3DO's not too bad, I find.
Yeah, and they effectively fucked themselves in the ass with the CD console. Then they released the CDZ about 2 years later.
Fair, even with the slow 1-disc drive, you can still play a new game quicker than you can on the PS3.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not waiting half an hour for a fucking update.
Brand new games. Yeah, you need about 15 updates, mate. Yeah.
But really, when I do play my Neo Geo CD, which I'll be honest, I rarely play it. The loading times don't really affect me that. The only game that really takes fucking ages is Samurai Showdown 2. But other than that, it's not too bad.
How
Did
long
they
is
have
the
like
ages,
little
Scott?
animations? Like while it loaded, like they would have like someone eating noodles or something like that.
It's just random. Every time I stick a disc in for the game, the pictures are just random, and I never got that. I think they've just done that so it makes sure the console, if it takes so long to load, you know it hasn't crashed.
He hasn't finished his noodles. Something's wrong.
Come on, little man, eat! I want to play my game sometime this fucking Christmas.
You have never played a Commodore 64, haven't you?
I've never played a Commodore 64.
I have the worst attention span anyway, so anything like that does drive me insane.
Commodore 64, those words are just filth. They should not be spoken.
Well,
This is the only computer which takes so long as load as appears to me, to be honest.
Well,
Oh,
let's...
don't you remember the Sinclair ZX Spectrum though?
Yeah,
I've got two.
Yeah, that basically had a tape drive that you literally would go out, make a cup of coffee, go play with your friends, and the thing still wouldn't have loaded.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
Michael.
with this drive as well.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic.
One
that's
of
because
two.
you can you adjust it, that one? Because obviously what you used to do when on the older one, where you just plugged your own tape drive in, was you could adjust the heads, couldn't you? So
Yeah, you had to get a little screwdriver, and you had to get the volume just right and stuff to get it to work.
Yeah,
I
but the
never
thing
had
is
any
now,
problems with it
now
because it was an absolutely amazing machine, and no one
Well, the
anyone
thing
say
is
anything
now
bad about it.
the cool
Oh,
thing
It's the
God.
best
about it,
machine
I
ever
love
invented,
mine.
ever.
Yeah.
I love mine.
Apart
I
from
heard
Dance
of
Recipe
Baby
Six.
Many, many hours of fun.
I now have 6,000 games to play in no time.
How long did it take you to count them?
I don't. Oh, the question should be how long did it take me to anally stack them on the shelf in order?
about triple the time.
In alphabetical or chronological?
But when you got that
Mm.
last big haul a couple weeks ago, or last week or whatever, I'm watching that Pickups video, and I swear that I must have aged or something, because I'm like, Jesus, how many fucking games? Is this thing over yet, or am I still
I had to s-
hallucinating?
I had to start editing
Jesus.
it because it was taking up so much time.
I see, yeah, turning it
each
down.
game
right.
up.
James,
I
did
thought
you
it was brilliant. I think you should do it every week and just fill your house with Spectrum games.
Yeah.
before you before you put them nicely on your shelves, did you make sure they're all rewound to the start as well?
I've done it
Now
with
you
a
know,
pencil.
now you know you're
Yeah.
OCD.
With a
With a
pencil,
pencil.
just for old time's sake.
I demand
I
a
bet
Frankie
you're
Goes to
thinking it looks
Hollywood
like it's been
gameplay.
chewed now from.
Oh,
just
well, Dave, I
fucking-
will.
I remember it being very odd.
Yeah,
Wasn't
so
there a
it's
level
a
when you
bizarre
were
game.
Ronald Reagan's head and Gorbachev's head was on the other side, and you were spitting at a wall of bricks in the middle? I'm not making this up, people.
That reminds me of renting video games, and you would get the cartridge, and on the back of the cartridge it had that "Be kind, please
Yeah.
rewind."
Yes.
Oh yeah. Even on fucking cartridges, and even in some places where I used to rent, they have them on CD games, on fucking PlayStation games. It's like, what? That makes no fucking sense.
Have you done it?
I may have doled a few of
Should
them
have a
back with a
sticker on the
fucking
back
nail,
that
but
said,
that's about
please
it.
blow on the pins before you return.
Dear Blockbuster, I attempted to rewind my DVD and it destroyed it.
Yeah.
It's coming with
If you want a free
it's coming
coffee
with a
coaster,
paper
I'll
and
bring it back
data.
to you. So I miss all that, renting games.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
You can,
It's really
there's
not.
still Blockbusters about though. You can still rent.
Sort
games.
of.
Yeah,
I've still got one.
we've
It's
still
not
got.
literally in my house or anything, but there is a Blockbuster downtown.
I've
Yeah, we've
actually
still
got
got one.
Blockbuster in my own house, the amount of fucking games I got now.
Well,
I'm
we
waiting for
have-
them to
we
shut
have
down
one
so we can.
Blockbuster.
So yeah,
Have you still got one,
So-
Xander?
We still have one Blockbuster, but it's funny because we have red boxes everywhere, and we have there's some places that have blue boxes, so that's actually Blockbuster's version of red box. It's kind of funny.
I thought Blockbuster was, because I know we still have them even though they got into trouble, but I thought in North America they totally tanked, completely went under.
We still have one.
Or is it because it's an independent?
I don't know who still goes there.
You buy it and it's kind of
Donald
technically,
Trump.
it's a brand, it's independent. You know,
If
it's
I
not
could do a
franchise.
bit of an obscure reference, but I want to go big choice video. Why you want to drive there? I want to see a good movie.
What
I
the
do-
fuck are you
I
on
do
about,
miss-
Scott?
No idea.
Oh, come
no
on,
idea.
you've not watched Clerks.
hermaphroditic porn.
Jesus. That was
Beautiful
good.
chicks with dicks that put man to shame.
That was the incorrect sound effect.
I'm still waiting for my fucking Blu-ray copy of Clerks to come in. I'm really excited. I want to watch that again. So excited.
Oh, it's
You
an awesome
like
movie.
X.
Nothing makes black and white as sexy as 1080.
That's what I thought. I thought, what am I doing? Why am I buying a Blu-ray of Clerks? And I was like, fuck it. It's good fun.
It's like, is there a Blu-ray version of Blair Witch?
Probably.
What would the point be to get really bad motion sickness as opposed to slightly bad motion sickness?
I can't watch that movie, man.
I loved it, but I loved it because I saw it when I was on holiday in Canada, so I didn't know anything about it. I did feel sick, obviously, and I thought it was really good, but all my mates over here hated it because it got so hyped. Pretty much, you knew the story before you went to see it.
I was the same time at cinema.
Everybody dies.
It was like that with Paranormal Activity when that came out, and it was like super indie. It was made on a shoestring, all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a load of shit. I fucking crap my panties watching that fucking movie. Jesus
You wear
Christ!
ladies' underwear, Scott.
Well, I might as well be, because I shit myself like a fucking diuretic girl. I'm telling you, that was fucking. That really screwed me up. I'm not into like scary movies. I'm a big pussy, really.
Blair Witch scared the shit out of me as well, especially at the end, I think, if I remember.
Oh,
What about the Erotic Witch
sorry,
Project?
spoilers, people were just standing in the corner.
Yes.
And
I
the
want to
camera-
see it on the first date.
Oh, what? What icebreaker there?
She was a goth.
I'm assuming
I'm
if it,
going to emasculate myself.
did you manage to get your winky wet?
I mean, yeah.
That is a good way.
It fell in my coke.
Yeah.
No, you pissed yourself from a scary movie.
What did you see on the second date?
On the second date, I killed her in a witch style. Oh, no, I didn't.
Kind of got away from me there, didn't it?
Yeah, I've no idea. I really can't remember. But I do remember going to see that.
Did you get lucky the same night that you saw it, though?
No.
Oh, you see?
You cried, didn't you? That's
Because you can't have sex and you're cowering
There
behind
was
the
no
couch.
second date. She just.
I can't have sex with you because you're so demasculated.
What kind of sick bastard takes you to a horror movie on the first date? No
When you asked
sex
to
for
be
you.
held, and that's when she thought, nah, this isn't for me.
One thing about dating goth girls is that you can get away with watching something like that, and it's totally fine. You know, I think I dated a goth girl years ago, and the first thing we did is end up going to see Cradle of fucking Filth. And normally, if you bring your normal straight normal girl who doesn't know anything about fucking black metal, and you take her to a black metal concert, she'd be kind of freaked out. But not for me, it worked wonders.
Oh, I used to love Cradle of
Goth
Filth.
girls don't have reflections in the mirror.
That is very true.
I've got a horrible thing to say, but in my defence, it was school when I was about 14. But all the goth kids used to sit down. That was it. Everyone else would be like playing football or whatever in the pen.
They'd be
and
sitting
stuff,
around
but
brooding.
all the goth kids would just be sat on the floor. So when we walked by, we used to flick pennies at them like they were.
We didn't have goth kids at our school.
They were not allowed.
Yeah,
You didn't have any
banned.
fucking kids at your school.
No, you did have goth kids. You had a no makeup rule.
So they just brooded with no makeup on.
They're stealth goth.
How does it work to play a goth kid with school uniforms?
That's true.
You just wear your uniform, but you go and buy one of those green jackets from the army surplus store that you put on over the top with the little flag,
Oh, right, okay.
and then you stick some badges and shit on, like Rick Mail from The Young Ones.
The young ones.
Michael, what are
keep
you doing
going.
with your little screen game catcher doohickey that you got on? What the fuck is that all about?
Yes, we can't see any of
I'm
the
playing-
footage.
I'm playing Grand Theft Auto.
We cannot
Online.
see it.
We can't see the footage.
No, I've got to sort something out then. Give me 2 seconds.
What, you showing off your driving skills again, are you, Mike?
Well, I'm doing pretty well actually, and I've got a garage full of
Are you
cars.
staying on the road?
He's running over goth girls.
He's turned his headlights off,
Well,
apparently.
the problem is that he got into a party with me, and I've, like I said, the worst patience in the world. So we're trying to chase down this guy on the other side of the fucking Los Santos. Whoa.
Oh.
Someone broke the time continuum again.
Yeah. The future me telling me, no, don't say this fucking story again.
Mr. Fusion.
Michael,
needs
cry.
some juice.
You wet your panties.
Nah, it's good fun, but it was like, oh my god, fucking not that mission again, please.
But I was actually saying to Snob that I ended up getting into a couple of missions with some kids, and I was playing this guy, and he's like, "Oh, I want to join your crew," and I was like, "Okay, fair enough. How old are you?" "I'm 14." Turns out he's 12, and then he invites a 5-year-old into the conversation, and they both start talking about female genitalia to everyone. It was just like, oh god.
Register.
Mike.
And with that, the police will be knocking on your door.
Exactly. It was just like, so what kind of woman do you like, Mike? I love women with big butts, and you're just like,
I like women above age, thank you.
Yeah, it's like,
And then Jimmy Savile joined, sorry.
you're going, now then.
That is dark.
That's well dodgy, that is.
It's just
That
one of those
fucking-
awkward moments in gaming where you just sit there and go, I can't talk to you.
But that's the problem with it. It's more of a first. It's more of
gaming
a,
where you should turn your system off.
yeah, it's more of a first world problem in gaming now. Is that when you play an 18 rated game, which is for 18 and over, you always get these fucking squealers always squealing down that fucking microphone. Like, parents, sort it out, please, because I don't want to hear this fucking 14-year-old twat bag in my fucking ear. Tell him to shut the fuck up and go to his room.
Yes, and that goes for YouTube as well. PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Can you remember playing any
Right, guys.
18-rated games when you were under 18?
Oh,
out of
all the
curiosity?
time. All the time.
Yes.
How did you get them?
Were there 18 rated games
But
on the
grandma.
Spectrum?
My mum used to buy them for me.
Were there 18 rated games on the Mega Drive?
No.
That
Mortal
was
Kombat.
I'm gonna
yeah,
look
but it
this
wasn't
up.
18 rated.
No?
The
They didn't
the-
have that. No, it didn't have film certification then.
They
did it? What
started
was-
bringing, they started bringing like film certification after like Night Trap and all this Sega CD.
Oh yeah, because Night Trap destroyed a generation's mind.
Yeah, that's when they started bringing in that sort of legislation. Yeah, before then it wasn't really
It was
there.
free for all.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I wasn't allowed to have Mortal Kombat. No,
Why?
I-
Who said your parents?
Yeah. Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
a
allowed to.
sad child.
You should have had a Super Nintendo then.
See, that's it. I did talk. I tried to talk to him. He said he hasn't got blood looking for sweat that comes off them.
Yeah, they're
No.
just exerting themselves.
Oh, that
Actually, the Mortal Kombat version for the Super Nintendo was actually, altered for the German market. You know, it's much more harmless.
How is it
If
not
I just
more
say it
harmless?
like
There was
that.
no blood in the first place. What do they do? You don't
They-
fight each other. Just go up and give them
No,
like
but
handshake.
they have not ripped out the spines like in the US version.
Yeah.
They took it. They took out. They rechanged some of the finishing moves too. Like they're
Yeah.
not the same as the arcade.
Yeah,
Sit down and have a tea.
But it was one of those times.
Oh,
once
have-
again,
somebody should actually try to play the first Counter-Strike German version. If you shoot somebody, they don't die. They just fell on their knees and that is. So you don't know if a character model is actually dead or if he's on his knees.
It's
you
just
know?
praying.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
Please
unfortunate.
save me.
That is the reason when every German start to download UK or US games.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
This
So
one.
your mum goes, yeah, you can play Mortal Kombat 2, but you only do friendships. Only do friendships.
Yeah.
No, Mortal Kombat 2
baby
was officially
time.
not released in Germany.
Well, they're not.
No, officially not.
No.
I got my as an import from Netherlands.
What?
Ah.
It's when they started. Was it
Street
vivalities and animalities and all that nonsense? That was just a step
Yeah.
too far.
That was crazy.
Well, that was the thing with Mortal Kombat. It became more of a cartoon every single one. That's the way I liked it because it distinguished itself from what people were thinking. Oh, it's ultra violence. It's going to screw with everyone's minds. It's like, no. When am I going to turn into a dragon and bite someone in half?
You know the real problem
Never.
with Mortal Kombat is, though, don't you? In an essence, the real problem with Mortal Kombat is it's not Street Fighter 2. Because I just remember playing it, being massively into Street Fighter 2 and just going, these controls are wank.
Greetings to the new entrant to the call.
Hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
Hello, Rob.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear.
Good, good. Nice to see you all.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may better know Rob Nathan as Electric Eddie from Gamesworld.
No way.
Afternoon.
I thought I recognised. Fucking hell.
Long time ago, long time ago.
Jesus.
Yes.
Greetings, how are you all?
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Thank you
good.
very much.
Fine. Good to see you.
Yeah, man, nice to see you. How's it going?
Definitely.
Yeah. Busy night. Just got back from the gym and rushed to come and join you all. So yeah, I think my wife's in the back.
touch me.
My wife's in the background. She'll give you all a little wave as well.
Hello.
Hello.
So what's the discussion?
It's
Who
like
has
we normally
recommended this
do.
kind of stuff last week?
I thought it said cock.
Cock dry gin.
That's what it looked like.
Boy, it's the first time I'm drinking gin, and oh my gosh.
You're drinking it straight.
But yes, I think I believe
I drink every
German.
straight, yeah.
Yeah, but no one drinks gin straight because you go mental and things happen.
Oh,
yes.
sounds good.
Then you wake up in a mental asylum under someone else's name.
Gin, because it makes you go batshit crazy.
But yes, I believe we were talking about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
And
no,
the problem with it's not Street Fighter 2.
Yeah,
Well, Mortal
definitely.
Kombat 2 is actually the only game with Mario Kart for which I actually keep my Super Nintendo for several years.
I thought you were
Each
going to say
guy
Mario
comes in,
Kart wasn't
but
out in
they-
Germany as well. I was going to say, what?
No, Mario
God.
Kart,
The
no.
red shells are bad.
Actually, Mario Kart and Mortal Kombat 2 are the only games where I actually kept my Super Nintendo for so long. Because everybody who comes and want to play these two games.
Well, the time
Both of these games. Yeah, they're great. If you play Street Fighter 2, it's fucking slow. I feel asleep if I play Street Fighter 2 by now, but I can still play Mortal Kombat 2.
Get the Hyper Fight and Turbo version or whatever it's called.
I think that's Street Fighter, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
the original Street Fighter 2 is really slow in comparison. I can't really play that anymore.
I
have
don't
to
mind
play
it.
Turbo at least.
I play Street Fighter pretty much every day, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
See,
when-
the Mega Drive version,
Choose your
I
flavour,
don't know what
basically.
version it is, but
That's
it's
right.
a hell of a lot faster when you crank it right up.
Oh yeah,
It's
Special Champion
ridiculous.
Edition.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Just keep putting
yeah.
the stuff
So,
up.
Harry, don't mention anything about Gamesworld. Do you remember what I said about?
Even the Commodore
We'll do a
version is
Commodore.
faster.
I don't remember. What did you say?
when I was ripping off the presenter.
Bob Mills.
Yeah.
Get off my stage!
Oh my god. That show was pretty cool back in the day, but Jesus, he drove me fucking insane.
Probably
On
his suit. His suit was pretty bad.
Yes.
Looking back at it now, him and Tim Boone, they had some awful suits, and they put some sort of tinsel around them for the grand final, and they were ridiculous. Which I've yet to upload to YouTube, but I will do it.
I've still got my Tim Boone signed Street Fighter 2 poster somewhere.
Well, it's pretty cool that you are. Yeah.
Well, Bob Mills took a bit of a shine to me, and he actually gave me an In Bed with Medina T-shirt. I don't know where it is now, but he was like, it's only one of 28 printed, and I cherished it until I moved, and I haven't seen it since I moved from London to Milton Keynes. I've never seen it since.
It's like a cat. It's gone back and found its original owner.
Maybe he's got it. I think he's a bit too big for it now, but he did put on a bit of weight, old Millsy. But yeah, the last time I saw him was in 2003 in Littlewoods when they were still in business, and he came up to me and gave me a hug in Muswell Hill. It was a surreal moment.
Yeah.
Did you keep in touch with any of the other guys from Gamesworld?
Yeah, I kept in touch with Alex Ferry, Big Boy Barry till about 2005. We were mates from about 1992, and we were friends till about 2005, and then we just sort of went our separate ways. But at that point, we had a lot of laughs. We worked together on the show. We worked together in offices, and we had a lot of fun. But we just haven't seen each other for a long, long time now. Martin Mathers as well. I kept in touch with for maybe.
Well, you never guess what, but guess who's behind the scenes right now? But it would have been cool.
Yeah. No, it really wouldn't.
Let's have a live reunion on RetroUnlim.
No. Martin's a hard one to talk about.
And while we're at it, we'll get everyone from Tiswell's on.
But actually, the only person I do talk to from Gamesworld still is a girl who played Trixie. She's a really lovely girl, and she played Trixie Bell season 3, and she's her brother Ravi, who used to be a researcher on the show. He's done really well. He's a producer for the BBC now, and so they've done. He's done remarkably well since Gamesworld. Yeah.
How old was Trixie, or the actress who played Trixie?
She was 16 at the time. That was 1994. So she'll be she'll be in her mid-30s now, like all of us. Unfortunately, yeah.
Whatever happened to the show? How did it how did it end up ending? 'Cause
They-
I remember it was doing...
Yeah, why?
What happened was I was asked if I wanted to come back for season 4, which was going to be sort of 1990, back end of 95 to 96, and then me and Alex were told that by Sky that the show was going to go ahead, and we were me, Electric Eddie, Martin Mathers, and Big Boy Barry were due to return as videators. There'd be another 3 or 4 included, but they cancelled it. Hewland International, they were going with a big promo for Dream Team, this show that they had about football.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so they went with that, they invested all their money into that, and then they put Gamesworld on the back burner. By the time it did come back, I was... it's a long story, but it didn't come back in the format people wanted, and it kind of bombed.
Yeah.
I think that was the season Larry was on.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it wasn't the same show. It was pretty
What do
poor.
you mean? Oh, but I like Dream Team. Oh my god, I killed the show.
Yeah, lots
But
of fun though.
by then, thinking about it, retrospectively, by about 95, most of those sort of like computer gaming shows were dead on their ass anyway. Games Master was
Thing is,
pretty much
right?
on the end.
Even though they kind of destroyed that show, am I the only person who thought that Sky in the mid-90s was epic compared to what it is now?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, they had.
It's
some
not endless reruns of Toddlers and Tiaras and fucking Game of Thrones.
But do you know what? Do you know what made me laugh though? The most successful person to actually come from Gamesworld was Jason Williams.
David.
Oh, David Williams, yes.
David Williams.
He was Big Boy Barry's assistant.
Barry's psychic.
Yeah.
Strange guy.
They had these funny little quirky comedies going on, along with everything else, because Barry had his own little show.
Yeah.
And it kind of had that whole professional wrestling feel to it in a sense, because everyone had their own little gimmicks. Everyone had their own little characters, and it was charming in a sense, but it was also extremely fun to watch. I remember as a kid, I used to love the way that they handled it, but then they just, for some reason, Sky decided to veer off course and do something totally different by the final season.
If it was done now in this sort of day and age, I think obviously it'd have been a lot more lucrative, not only for sort of the guys that were presenting it, but we'd have had a lot more media. It was 1994, and it was just nobody knew who we were. I mean, obviously, you get the hardcore gamers and the hardcore people that love the show, but if it was now, I wouldn't be working in the job I'm working in.
What it'd be now, it'd be like an MLG event. It'll just be a load of people playing fucking Call of Duty. It wouldn't be the same anymore.
No, but they should bring something back to that degree where, there's so much that could be done now. But we said that in 1998, 1999. Oh, we've got the PlayStation now. Think of the games we could play. But think of the games you could play now. But saying that, we'd all probably get our asses kicked by really, really good games players. Because I was all right back then. I was not a bad player, but and I could usually psych out the kids before they sat down. But now you've got some amazing talent, and I don't think I'd probably keep up.
Just line up with them, right? And when you were about to play them, and they counted you in, did you just go, by the way, your parents are getting divorced? Go.
Yeah, by the way, you were adopted.
Yeah. No, I just used to stare at them, stare them out, and I'd be as nice as I could to them backstage because it was a big day for them. But when I got on stage, I was just intimidating because of my mask.
You had to be, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't horrible though. Like some of the guys, like Mathers, would be unnecessarily rude and nasty to the parents and to the contest. But I would just be like, just do my thing. But that was
like the comment earlier. It's like a wrestler. You have to keep your kayfabe. You got to be that character. Yeah, some people like that.
Definitely, yeah. On stage I was, but not off it. I was pretty mild mannered.
You're just a regular Joe.
That's it, the regular Joe. Yeah.
My fondest TV memory of the '90s was when I was on the Really Wild show.
Oh yeah.
Were you? No way.
From one of the trees,
and I had a line because they stuck the mic into the audience, and I think I said something along the lines of
"Sexy biscuits."
No, white tigers are my favourite tigers, and that was it. And
Did you read
like a really retarded child?
Did you
Sorry?
read that off a cue card, Dave?
No, there was an episode about tigers, and then they just stuck the microphone into the audience. What I really should have said was, "Oh, I'd totally like to do you, Michaela," but you know,
What was that?
in my
White
defence, I
tigers
hadn't
are
been
the
from
best
puberty at
tigers.
the time.
Oh, okay, that makes
Taking
sense.
that down.
Sort of
I'm the only
Michaela
person who still thinks Michaela
I
Strachan's hot.
Probably.
Not nowadays. No, no.
I
She's
agree. with you.
alright. Yeah.
She's hot.
Always
Annika
remember,
Rice.
always remember Michaela Strachan on was it Wide
Whack-a-day.
Awake Club? Whack-a-day. And it was fingers in your ears time when she tried to sing, and Timmy Mallet just didn't like it.
Yeah. Do you remember Ghost Monsters and Legends
Yes.
No.
with Tommy Boyd?
Tommy Boyd.
Ghost Monsters Legends.
He went on to do a radio show about wrestling, Tommy Boyd.
He now does baseball on Channel 5.
Baseball.
I just can't
What a
look
fucking
at
career
him
he has.
talking about baseball. I just see him on Whack-A-Day doing that weird dance he did with the really odd haircut he had from the 90s, giving some kid a lunchbox with someone just written whack on the front.
With
And the
what
plasters
letters?
that they used to stick on people were just regular plasters that someone also wrote whack on.
Yeah.
That's how you
They
say
had.
that, Dave.
Do you know Timmy Mallet still tours with his Mallet's Mallet?
Good God. I'm surprised he's always shoved that up his fucking ass by now.
Timmy Mallet was
Oh,
a
actually,
legend.
that's probably his show right now.
I don't know, right? It's probably like an episode of Twilight Zone or something. If Timmy Mallet had never existed, we'd be like Mad Max now or something.
He held our society together.
Yeah.
Do you know West Ham United were prevented from selling inflatable or foam mallets because of Timmy Mallet?
I never knew that. And I'm a West Ham fan. That's odd.
Yeah?
Well, you
Yeah.
just bring real fucking hammers to the fucking stadium.
If you're a West Ham fan, please tell me what you think of the movie Green Street Hooligans.
Oh,
You just kick in the door, do it all, just nick all the sledgehammers and just
Funniest
fucking
thing I ever heard
stand
about
around,
someone
start
talking
licking 'em.
about Green Street Hooligans was Danny Dyer, and they go because obviously he was. Someone asked him because he did Football Factory what he thought of Green Street Hooligans. He goes, "Don't get me wrong, right? He's a fucking good hobbit, but he's a shit hooligan."
I'm
yeah.
glad those movies don't exist anymore because we had a fucking glut of those sort of hooligan movies. And like,
Football Factory.
just go away.
They kind of do, but they
Factory was good, but the rest of them that sort of followed it, like the Green Mile, not Green Machine, or what the fuck it was called with old Hobbit boy.
Mean Machine.
Green Machine, Mean Machine, whatever.
The Vinnie Jones remake of the Burt Reynolds movie, that was a different sport. Basically,
That's right,
teaching
yeah.
prisoners
Yes,
football.
that's right.
How can you do over fucking Burt Reynolds? What a fucking prick.
Burt Reynolds
That's
is
the-
legendary.
Yeah.
Who Burt Reynolds?
He's just single-handedly he brought back mustaches all by himself.
Fucking Gator McCluskey for the win.
I heard that if you shave off his mustache, the world collapses. I heard that if you shave off his
reality
gets
gets torn asunder.
If you shave off his moustache, under there is just another moustache.
If you shave off his mustache, he looks like Liza Minnelli.
So, Rich, changing the subject slightly here. I don't know if you
Yes.
noticed at Play Expo last week,
No.
formerly Replay, there was a stage set up for Street Fighter competitive tournament, and the people watching that were absolutely
Tell me.
going insane for it, like it was
They
a
were.
football match or something. And I thought back to watching shows like Games Master and Gamesworld in the 90s. I thought,
I'm watching Guru Larry try to play Street Fighter.
people didn't go. The stagehands had to basically whip them into a frenzy, didn't they? They were just
Yeah.
all stood around there going, all right, somebody's beating somebody on Street Fighter. Yay! Can we go home now? Can I have my free Coke?
now have my sweets.
That's just
I
proof
got my
that today
buttons
in
and my
society
ribbon
everyone's on
wears off.
drugs.
To be fair though, that was an exciting game, man. It was like that one guy was down to just about his last hit, and the other guy was like on full energy, and he worked him down and finally beat him. It was so unevenly matched. It was like an awesome Rocky-style comeback, man. That's why they were cheering. It was excitement.
What, did a train go by and you heard Mickey?
Yeah.
Get off your bum! Mickey loves ya!
Funniest thing ever was when we watched Rocky 5 for the first time, and my mate in the cinema, and it's just one of those things that stuck in my head. But when that train goes by, and it glows, and he goes, "Get up, you bum!" My mate just went, "Fucking hell, ghost train!" And that's what every time I watch it now, that just pops into my head.
That's all you can think of.
And then I try and forget it because it's a terrible movie.
He's quicker on the mark.
Was a bad movie. Was shocking.
He's dead now, isn't he? The bloke who played Tommy. What's his Tommy
That's
Pan?
right. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Tommy Cannon.
Tommy Gunn.
Oh, I get it. Now oh, sorry, I actually just finally got why he was called Tommy Gun. Never mind.
I think Dave just leveled up.
Has that made the film any better for you, Dave?
Nope.
Fucking hell, Ghost Train.
They're doing that film, was it? It's De Niro and Stallone fighting, isn't they? That's another boxing film where they come out of retirement when they're like 70.
What?
They're doing a new
Rocky and
boxing...
Raging Bull. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, it's a sort of Rocky Raging. They're not sort of Jake LaMotta and Rocky Balboa, but it's those two.
That'd be a really shit match. It only lasts like 30 seconds, and then you fucking sit down.
Like,
basically,
like 40 seconds.
Did they sell that to a studio?
I don't know. They have done though.
Am I the only person as well when you see that commercial at the moment for that Stallone in Schwarzenegger movie?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, not got massive hard on about it.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be amazing. I don't know. But am I the only person who watches it and goes, "Congratulations, you're 20 years too late"?
It's because of the Expendables. They brought Expendables out. Yeah. Now basically every old bastard in the world is trying to get their action chops back in.
Look, I'll be honest with you. If cinema is going to get dumber now with Arnie and Slide Back and all this stuff, I don't care because I'm having a time of my fucking life right now watching these fucking movies.
I'll watch Arnie all day long. I don't care if he's got a Zimmer frame and holding an Uzi. I'll be happy days.
I'm looking forward to seeing that film because I know it's probably going to be shite, but who gives a shit? It's them two together. It's going to be a fucking blast.
I'll tell you what I watched last night because I found it on YouTube by accident, and I watched it and I can't believe it tanked at the time because I really liked it. Last Action Hero is actually a pretty good movie.
I like the Last Action Hero. I had quite a lot of the action figures as well as a kid, and you wouldn't tell me none the wiser that it tanked at the cinema. I didn't give a shit back then, but
it was supposed to be the huge film of that year, wasn't it? But it came out at the same time as Jurassic Park.
Oh,
and
that's
got
bad, yeah.
Battered.
To my mind, it's Schwarzenegger's greatest haircut.
My name is Arnold Schwarzenheimer.
Arnold Braunschweiger, the famous comedian.
Excuse me a second, I'm going for a slash.
I do.
I still love it when he shoots that guy and he has that fucking guy lies dead with a fucking snow cone in the back of his head. Ice that guy. Cone of phrase. Fucking love it.
That cat has been my partner for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh, quality. Love Arnie.
So, where is our other guest? I thought we were going to have a few more.
He keeps getting kicked from the chat. I think it's because we're probably over limit.
No, not Zalian. We've got a few more people.
Oh.
We're allowed 10, aren't we?
Yeah, 10. They're in the pipeline, Scott, apparently. They're joining.
In the pipeline?
Yeah. That's all I can say.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah, that's all we can say. We are vowed to silence. It's like, alright, okay. I get told who's coming in, and fucking Electric Eddie walks in. Oh, Electric Eddie! Shit!
I know, yes.
I wasn't told about this.
Yeah, neither was I.
I try to keep the nerd outs to a minimum because I don't want to look like a complete twat. But I was like, oh!
Yes.
No, you're too kind. Too kind.
Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the show, I was when I was a kid. Watching back when me and Harry do commentaries, because we do commentaries at Games Master and some Gamesworld stuff.
Yeah.
It hasn't aged well in places, but it's still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Next time we drink whiskey, yeah.
The one thing I fucking love though is like watching Games Master and when they have the reviews and they always have a game that is complete shit, but it's always getting 90%. And it's like, Harry must get bored of me just saying, what the fuck, bullshit, bullshit, because that's all you hear from me for the next half an hour.
Was I was unaware of the show until more recent times, but was it on Sky TV? Is that story? Is that?
It was on Sky Tea Time. A friend of mine had. I didn't have Sky back in the day, but a friend of mine did, and he used to record me like a week's worth of episodes because it was on every single day, and then send me give me the tape.
What's that, Gamesworld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
right.
obviously, Scott, you were raised after 7 working days.
No, I just poor. Didn't have fucking Sky TV.
Oh, right. I didn't know you were a closet Gamesworld fan. I thought you hated that thing.
I did like the presenter, but I did like the show.
YouTube App benutzen, sondern den
It's
Browser
called
natürlich
punishment.
aufmachen. Ist besser.
What?
He's just phoning his order through for the pizza.
Which he's going to share with
He
Scott.
phoned his order for the fucking DVD of the show.
Still looks like he's in your. Still looks like he's in your room, Scott. It looks like he's sitting where your shoulder is, but he's really recessed into the curtains.
No, he's sitting in front of me.
Looks more like a casting couch.
They're secretly
One of them's just gonna get blown in about 5 minutes.
Why didn't you both go sit on the bed and spoon?
So, Rob,
Hey.
when is the DVD of Gamesworld coming out?
Yeah, that's a good one. Probably never, because Alex will probably get his agent on it, and Big Boy Barry would probably want too much of a slice of the pie. So I don't think you'll ever see that released.
Yeah, but how big of a slice? It's a fucking show that not many people really cared about, unless it was gamers from the early 90s.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I don't
Barry
think
was one of the
buy
main
it.
features of that show, wasn't he?
What?
he was.
Barry
Also,
was like one of the main focuses, so of course he'd probably want a huge slice of that, wouldn't he?
yeah, they probably, they built the show around him, and he became obviously the figurehead of the show. So he had a lot of decent contracts locked up quite early, and he managed, quite a lot of quite a lucrative deal for himself. I remember him negotiating with his, back then, because I was very close with him, whereas we all got really bad contracts.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh, yeah, we'll do it. It's fine. And I think we got paid about 80 quid every time we appeared. And I think that was like, I could do a whole day of Beat the Elite for £80, and then I would do it. Then a day later, I'd do an Ask the Videator, which took 3 minutes in a studio in East London, and I'd go home again, and it would be £80 again. So, in some days it was good, and some days it was bad. But I don't think there's enough demand for it for a DVD. Unfortunately, it's a shame a channel hasn't picked it up, like Challenge, where they'd show it in the week or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, I
Quite surprised actually. Everyone
I
thought
wondered
some-
that as
yeah.
well. Yeah,
Because that they show so many old shows like Bullseye and that. All right, and we weren't terrestrial, but it might bring a whole new audience. It might be a bit of fun to watch. Like Nightmare's back on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love
again,
that.
but that had a massive audience again. So but it would be fun to see it.
See,
Yeah.
sorry, continue.
No, but it would probably need a lot of touching up. I did try and upscale my DVD, my uploads, but I didn't have much luck.
Well, let's be honest here. The way it was recorded, and it's not going to be. You're not going to get it any further than that. 'cause
No, I
when
think
the-
I've actually got it better than it was originally broadcast
Right.
on Sky.
Yeah,
So
the only way you're going to get any better is if you have actually the film from the bloody show.
that's right. Yeah. All in
Yeah, but
standard.
because it's a show from our childhood that we all love, when we watch
Yeah.
it, our brain does a 3D effects thing, and I'm watching it in 1080.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I
actually quite funny how that show hasn't been spawned into a sort of a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
With all the old hosts and stuff like that, because now the internet's becoming a really big thing in terms of for retro gaming.
TV alternative, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm surprised you guys probably haven't thought about negotiating a deal with.
Oh, you'll be a video editor. I'll be a fucking video editor for it.
It was
Yes.
Scott, it's spandex.
Every single day it'll be Street Fighter 2. Like, I got this.
Yeah, but Scott, if you had to play young children, I don't think you keep your potty mouth quiet for that long.
Well, that's how
Yeah.
I put them off.
What is the said beverage there, Jimmy?
Sorry, Rob, you were going to say
it's gone.
something there.
No, it's been such a long time, and I think a lot of the guys now. Obviously, there would only be a couple of people from the show that would go back, the original cast. certainly if Rick Henderson had anything to do with it, then you'd definitely not see me there.
Oh,
You heard it here, people.
You weren't a big fan of Rick.
Does that mean he's
What
like the
about
Yoko
Guru
Ono figure of it?
Rick wasn't a big fan of me. He campaigned quite heavily for me to wear a mask when we'd done all the promo shoots.
Shit.
So basically, what happened was we'd done all the promos, Sky Studio, me without the mask on, and it all went in the papers and everything. And then he got a bee in his bonnet about something and said to Jane Hewland that I didn't look electric enough, so he wanted to. So the character was mine, but they wanted to
stun you with a taser before you went on.
Yeah. So they turned me into like this bizarre robot guy, which wasn't the actual design of Electric Eddie. He was just supposed to be a kid that was struck by lightning, had really good gaming skills, and had an electric personality. But then they changed it to this robot guy. He took great pleasure in the fact that I was wearing a mask.
Was he jealous of your good looks?
Probably. But no.
You were electric.
Thank you very much. I was. But Rick was then. Then I had to play Rick in the Videator playoff, which had never been done before. So all 8 Videators played against each other in real life games, and the winners went through to the grand final to play the champion. And I absolutely obliterated him on Smash Tennis.
Yes.
Nice. Which he stormed off stage. It wasn't filmed. It wasn't
filmed. That's not fair. You're better than me.
It wasn't filmed in front of a live audience. It was just played, and then we did some blue screens after it to show that we'd played. After that, he never spoke to me again. And then when they did the other show, then the one 3 years later, the New Gamesworld, he was the producer of it, and I had a conversation with him. And he just completely was like, I said, you know, it would be nice to be back on. I did all right, and I think I deserve a shot. But he didn't see what was good for business. He just thought, no, this guy beat me. I'm not going to put him in the show. And that was it.
A massive tool.
Yeah.
You obviously already know that.
Reminds me of a story that happened on the other rival channel. Harry.
What was that again, Scott? Here we go.
Here we go.
He even went on a forum about 10 years later and started like going, you had to wear a mask, and I was just like, are you serious, dude? 10 years later, you're gonna and Dave Perry was just like, oh mate, what is your problem?
You should have said to him, don't we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking? He really had a bee in his bonnet for you then to 10 years later resurrect a feud.
Yeah.
2000,
beat him in a video game.
Yeah.
I remember.
I used to like Rick until you mentioned this.
Well, you know, everybody's got their motive. I'm no angel. I enjoyed it on there. I was an excitable kid.
You were a kid back then, for fuck's sake.
I didn't make any enemies. I wasn't an asshole to anybody, and I didn't really understand why it was happening. But me beating him sealed my fate. Really, I didn't. After that, he didn't want to give me a sniff.
But you know what the good thing is about this? He's going to go to his deathbed being pissed off at you beating him in a video game.
Yeah. It was just bizarre. I remember the producer of the show ringing me and she said, "You're going to play Rick on Smash Tennis." And I was like, "Really? Are you serious?" Because
I have to play Smash Tennis.
I almost didn't want to beat him, but I really wanted to be in the final to play this kid. And I just played it, and it's unfortunate. Then he went on the Games Animal forums with Dave Perry, who's a really nice fella. And he was like, "Yeah, I saw you on the Weakest Link, and you weren't wearing your mask. It makes a change." Because I did an episode of the Weakest Link about 2001, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you didn't have to wear your mask. Oh, it took you all those years to finally get on TV with you." And I was just like, "Oh my god, mate!"
Do you know roughly where he lives?
No, I don't.
We could all have a whip around, right? And you could get a full-page advert in the local newspaper that just says, "I beat you."
Or I'm going to break my C-word rule here. You get a picture of him, full spreadsheet on there with the caption at the top. cunt.
Do you know what? He added me on Facebook about
What?
Oh,
yeah, about 4 or 5 months ago, and I accepted it, and I thought, no, this guy's a dick, and then I deleted him.
Yeah.
And he works
Did
for
he add you on Facebook just so he could send you a message and go?
This on his face as well.
he works for a company called Pocket Lint. I don't know much about what he does,
Oh yes, I
Pocket
know.
lint.
but Pocket he works for Pocket Lint. I know
Yes.
that much. I don't know much else,
They
but
have a fairly popular podcast, yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've never heard of them before, so don't exist.
But yeah, needless to say, Rick was put in charge of that 4th series of Gamesworld, and I don't know how it did ratings-wise, but nobody enjoyed it as much as the first 3 seasons. So,
I didn't. After 2 episodes, I switched off.
oh right, cool.
It's a
Yeah.
bit like when they had that snotty shitbag from Blackadder present Games Master, and that's when I checked out for a few years.
Oh, the guy from Press Gang.
Yeah.
Dexter Fletcher.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw him, I was like, "Hang on,
Dexter Fletcher was in Blackadder.
Yeah, he was the young PM in Blackadder the Third
Oh, that's right.
when he played Pip. Yeah,
Oh, Pip the even younger.
yeah, that's it. Because we were watching an episode. Didn't we do a commentary on that, or did we just watch the episode? I think we did a commentary, didn't we, Harry? And I was like, and I just couldn't get over it. It's like, why is Pip the younger telling me about fucking games?
Was he not also in? I might be wrong.
He's in Doom the movie, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, isn't he the bloke in the wheelchair?
In what?
Be.
In Doom.
That'd be fucked up.
I've not seen it.
You know
So the only good bit of that movie is when
Well,
he
transition,
goes
Games
with-
Master, season whatever, and then
Funniest-
Doom the movie.
Yes.
The funniest thing about
Alright,
that Doom movie as well is
nothing.
I had one of my drama teachers who trained me, Ian Hugh, was in there, and he literally played one of the scientists who was killed at the beginning of the game. He had like about 5 or 6 speaking lines.
Did he wear a red jacket?
Cool.
He is like a balding Englishman. Let me see if I can find a picture of him.
Is it any good, the film, or is it
No.
absolute
No,
top
it's
box?
top
The
Right.
only thing good about that film is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and of course the first-person bit at the end of the movie. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
But the rest of the movie is just fucking a complete bastardization of Doom. Let's be honest, Doom doesn't have much of a storyline, but when they changed the imps to these infected humans, it's like, fuck you, blood out your ass.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck this movie.
It made no sense to me whatsoever.
Did they have the big fucking gun?
Oh yeah, they
They
had the
did.
BFG, yeah.
But it should have been. They should have either kept it true to context, or just let it go altogether.
Just not do it. Well, no,
He should have made a Duke Nukem movie in the 90s with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd been awesome.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. Gum.
Yeah, the voice might not
really
be the same, but
Blow out your ass.
You sound like a Radio 2 presenter. You don't.
I'm not a very good slider. You're greedy and lazy.
Getting back to just a story that I remember was Martin Mathers. He was trying to carve a career out of him for himself as a games journalist, and he was trying to brown nose Tim Boone a little bit at the time, who was editor of Computer and Video Games. And we were all eating and catering, and Martin had this roast chicken dinner in a big foil container, and he was like, "Hey Tim, come and have a look at this thing I wrote about Super Mario Kart." And as he was talking to Tim Boone, the foil was leaking and all the gravy, and Martin was in his full suit. He was about to film. All the gravy ran down his arm, dripping off his elbow onto his trouser leg, and then he had this big puddle of gravy all around his foot. And Tim Boone was like, "Oh, you're springing a leak there, Martin." And he was like, "Oh, bollocks!" And then he walked off with this huge footprint of gravy all the way back to the blue screen room. And I don't think that did very well for his. I don't think Tim ever did get to see his review of Mario Kart, but it was a funny day.
Here you go, guys. There's
Bob.
text.
The magic of live TV.
This is Ian Hughes.
Hello.
Hello. You're right there,
This
Bob.
is Bob. Real name, not
There's
Bob.
Xander.
Hey,
There he
welcome
is.
back, guys.
Let me give you the image.
So, Rob,
There
one
you go.
question I did want to ask you. You
Yeah,
mentioned earlier about the character Electric Eddie. Did you
Yeah.
come up with that yourself?
Yeah, I auditioned actually
Oh yeah.
for the role with the character written and done. David Walliams produced all the other videators. He wrote Big Boy Barry. He created Big Boy Barry. He created all season 1, 2, and 3 videators. But mine was the Electric Eddie. I created it and I gave it to the producers. And I said I'd like to audition as this character, and they let me do it. So
That's cool.
so that was fun. I didn't have much control over the costume. But what I knew what I wanted and how I wanted it to be perceived, but obviously they took over from there. But yeah, then I guess the only thing that really remained how I wanted it was the voice that I wanted to do and the name. Everything else they kind of just put their own way, which was, never mind. But it was good.
There might have been an Electric Eddie action figure.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been brilliant because I collect action figures. That would have been great. I wish I'd have been able to keep my mask, but I should have stolen it on the last day of filming because it must have just, they must have just got rid of it and when they moved
I would have
offices.
thought, why didn't? Well, obviously didn't know they weren't coming back. So, but I would have thought they would just give it to you. Like you say, they're not going to do. I'd like to think it's on someone's desk somewhere.
Well, I'd like to think so. Just a guy that I work with, he said it looks really like he loves Slipknot, and he was like, "Oh my god, it looks like Slipknot."
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
so he was like, "Oh mate, this is hardcore," and I was like, "No, it really isn't." But he
in hindsight now, you should have done that every time you walked into the show when you entered into the arena, if you will. You should have just threw up in the mask every single time, like Corey does a Slipknot.
Just think if it ran on for a few more years, right? Whoever's got the mask now could be a looky-likey in open supermarkets.
I know.
I'm doing game shows as you.
All these
original, but he's not
As
the
open the new Asda as Electric Eddie is like, who?
You idiots!
See, everyone would be going who, but everyone in their 30s would just be, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm missing out all these royalties, man. It's depressing.
Hey,
We'll have a whip around and make you a mask.
Yeah,
Electric Eddie!
Brilliant.
So Bob just sat there, don't know what the fuck's going on, looking like an Irish Ashens. Go on, tell us what you're doing.
No, I'm just fixing my screen. One of my screens has just gone horribly wrong, and I'm desperately trying to fix it while looking like I know what I'm doing.
Irish problems.
That's what we found out tonight, Bob.
Irishmen,
That you have to have a
Irish
TV license in Ireland.
I thought the only problems Irishmen have is looking for their pot of gold. Was that their problem?
You're mistaken.
Look at it, actually buy
mythical creatures. Damn pots of gold. Well, I do
buy
have a pot of
live
gold.
chickens from a fucking.
What, the Irish are mythical creatures?
Actually buying live chickens from a fucking car boot sale.
Well, as it happens, I was looking around for more of them, and I didn't see. There was a guy. I was asking the chickens, and the guy said if I got into his van, he'd show me his cock. So I'm assuming there's still some sort of, holding something. Oh, actually, maybe he meant something else now. I think about it. He did have rape van, printed on the side, so maybe that was
rape
van. Obviously, an honest,
Make it honest, yeah.
Rape is legal as long as you advertise it.
When you walk into that van, you know what you're in for.
For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, for some reason in Ireland, I kept finding people selling, all the car boot sales are all normal, and then there's a guy selling chickens, live chickens. Oh, hang on, my camera's knackered. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things we seem to have here. That and pots of gold, apparently. Hello, by the way.
Hello.
Bob, keeping stereotypes alive.
Yes.
Quiet.
So where's Larry?
Oh, Guru Larry.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's he up to these days?
Oh, he was supposed to be. Wasn't he supposed to come on tonight?
Was he?
I don't know. I thought he was. I don't
I
know.
hope he does. I hope he does.
I thought he was due to come
Well,
on. Yeah.
nobody told me that you were going to come on, so we may still do.
No, you never know. He might surprise you.
Yeah. Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? We'd have the full retro experience, wouldn't we? Guru Larry and
exactly.
Electric Eddie. Wow.
Yeah. I never actually met Guru, although our paths almost crossed. But we've been talking recently. He's a good guy, but I know that they wanted to do an evil character of Big Boy Barry, and Guru might have played an evil twin of Alex, but it never came to fruition. But that would have been fun to see him up there on that season. That would have been good.
Yeah.
I say we get that dickhead bloke Connor as a guest, and we all rip the shit out of him for 2.5 hours.
What, Rick
Henderson? Rick Henderson.
Honestly, like the unbelievable.
We could all be wearing masks when he comes on. It'd be really funny.
I like spaghetti masks.
If anyone would have, it's just it was crazy. He really loved. He was executive producer when I was on, and he didn't win a lot of games, but obviously he was in the know and he had the power and he had the ear of Jane Hewland, so he got himself on again. But never mind.
So did he
Sounds
still?
like he had a proper Woody for himself.
He did.
Did he still play the Violet Blade by this point?
Yeah, he played the Violet Blade in season 2. He didn't have a fantastic season, but again he got on season 3, and again had a poor record. But he got to do all the stuff that maybe some of the other guys could have done. He got to go to America with Alex and review loads of games, and he was for it for himself. And maybe if anyone else was in that position, that may have been the case. But you could tell he was out for him. What was good for business and the show. I suggested stuff that might work, and it was all just no. There's no way you could put an opinion across. I was allowed to write my own scripts. That for the small parts of Beat the Elite. That was something I was allowed to do. But anything else was just.
That's quite surprising, actually, considering what you just said about it.
He would not let me. He would not let me take my mask off because they wanted to demask me on the grand finale, but he wouldn't. Again, he said no, it wasn't going to happen. So. One of those things, but really didn't want me to be on. It really didn't want my face to be on TV for some reason.
Although strangely, it was on every edition that you starred in the brief introduction, where we see you spinning around.
That's correct. I asked them. I pleaded with a producer called Hester, who was a lovely lady on the show. I said, look, you've taken away the fact that I really wanted to show this character as myself and use my facial expressions. I said, can I at least have that moment where you see me turn into this masked character and I get a little bit of myself? And they were like, yes, all right, we'll do that on your little intro. So that was my moment. That was that was my big unmasked moment. So yeah, Hester let me do that bit, which was great. But yeah, it was. Look, I wouldn't change it. It was fun, and looking back, the mask was probably, one of the most. It created a mystique, so it was probably a good thing. I just didn't think it at the time because I was young. I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to do things, and I was like, no one's going to see me. I did feel like that about it because I was,
really going to ruin my thesp credentials.
yeah. When I get on the weakest link, no one's going to know who I am.
The weird mustachio blokes are going to want to beat me up.
Yeah, but no, as I say, we were all kids back then.
I thought that Anne Robinson would have done a bit of research, or people would have done research, and she would have had a pop at you about it, because that's what she does, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, but again, I don't think Anne had ever watched Gamesworld.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
That's it, Anne Robinson. I'm never watching Rogue Traders again.
But I think Rick was really upset because I got on the weakest link, the BBC One version, which had a lot of viewers. It was the one with the audience because they made it really prime time, and I got on that one. And then, so 300,000 people never saw my face on Gamesworld, but 8 million did on BBC One, and it must have pissed him right off. So
went back on it 10 years later to fucking troll you.
Yeah, I know. What a troll.
Did you not, after that episode of The Weakest Link, did you not take it to the forums and tell him?
No, he brought it up a few years later. That was 2001, The Weakest Link. I am going to add it to my channel, actually, because I was a right cocky little shit on it. Just because I wanted to challenge Anne. I really wanted to have a little go with her. But then Rick piped up. He was like, oh, yeah, you finally got your mask off. But no, it's fun. All fun and games now. We're all married, we've all got kids, most of us, and
let's be honest, behind-the-scenes stories like this make TV exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, mate, I've got so many things to. I've got so much dirt to dish, but I won't do it all. But you know, I don't want to look bitter. But the thing is, there was so much bitching there. It was the biggest.
It's basically like a school, but in TV form.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with everything. You know, I've worked in both acting and professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's the same. People bitch, and they bitch a lot in creative mediums because you all either have one person who thinks that they're the bee's knees and wants to be bigger than everybody else, and then gets offended if someone else gets a bit of that spotlight, or
Did you have a wrestling catchphrase?
I did.
What was it?
Go on.
What's the matter with you, huh?
Shut up in your face.
Not exactly.
I was Frank Stone.
Not exactly Stone Cold said so, but it's close.
I had hair back then.
I think you'll all agree that I have a superior catchphrase.
Yeah, it's even seeping into my subconscious, even when I'm not on YouTube or making videos. It's like, oh fuck, am I saying that bloody thing now?
I have no idea where it came from, but people seem to like it, so screw it. It stays.
Dave, if I don't do a sexy biscuits for you soon, we're no longer friends. I don't even care if you say who I am. I just want to do one.
You got to do one. I told you in the last bloody podcast you're all doing one.
Excellent.
We can do them all now.
No, because I wanted to be creative and Shakespearean. Plus, the bar's been set quite high, I think, by some of the people.
Naked and covered in iron brew from head to toe.
Forsooth, these confectionaries are indeed exquisite and sexy.
But yeah, like I did mine like on the intro, my sexy biscuit intro, which hasn't seen the light of day, which I think is good reason. And
no, it's because they're believe it or not, I don't understand why they're backed up.
Yeah, you've got some few. But every time you see another one, and then you see the Sega Stoner fucking bollock naked with just a phone to keep his fucking privacy in check, and it's just like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger every time.
People have been PMing me. I don't even know, saying, "Can I do a sexy biscuit?" Right? I don't know who you are, but yeah, why not? And you want a little secret? Benway's done too, and one of Benway's puts the bar even higher.
Awesome.
Speaking of old Stevie, fucking what he did this week really made my fucking day. I was chatting to him on Facebook. He was talking about Mega CD games because he's been on a bit of a Mega CD bender, as you know. And as you know, I played Lords of Thunder a few days ago and fucking love that game. So on his Facebook group, I said, "Oh, why don't you try out this game?" And knowing that, he's a busy guy, he ain't gonna take requests. He ain't that sort of guy.
Yeah, he's well approachable.
The next day, yeah, that's what I thought. When you see like big names like that, I think he's a big guy on YouTube. You sort of get, I don't know, it's sort of like an awkward, scared thing that you don't really want to talk to him because he's gonna just like
I love you,
whatever. But anyway, I said to him, "Why don't you try out Lords of Thunder? I would love to see your perspective of it." And I thought, nah, he ain't gonna worry about that. And then a few hours later, I checked Facebook again, and he's like, "Oh, I found the ROM of it and all this stuff, and I burned it onto a CD." And then the following day,
is it like a 3DO then? Can you just burn them? Not that anyone would pirate, obviously.
Not too sure about the 3D. I'll check up on that for you, mate. But on the Make CD, you can. You're alright. You got to do a bit of jury rigging when it comes to regions, but it's quite easy to do. So, yeah, he's playing Lords of Thunder the following day, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. He didn't directly shout me out, but it was like, that's fucking awesome that he took my recommendation, ran with it. I don't think he liked the game that much, but it was awesome that he saw him play the game. Yeah,
so he's
pretty
just
cool.
playing pirate games. I
don't know. Like you'd be surprised because there is that perception on places like YouTube that some people just aren't approachable. But I don't know. My kind of experience is, you'd be surprised when you ask people for stuff.
Well, I don't ask for anyone really, but I just.
Well, no, I don't mean like that, but like you PM and you ask a question or stuff like that.
Yeah, I threw it out there, and he said, "Yeah, okay," and then it just caught fire. And next thing you know, he's made a video of it. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
He's just a man at the end of the day, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm just a man. It's just a man.
He's just he's the Benway.
Imagine if you told us when we were children that we'd be talking to that bloke from computer program on telly.
Yes. Oh, he didn't hear that.
That's probably a fucking good thing.
Yeah, had his headset off.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't repeat it because it won't sound natural.
The moment has passed.
But yeah, that was pretty fucking awesome. Made my week anyway.
Wicked.
Bob, you gotta do a Sexy Biscuits intro, but you need to work a chicken in.
When you say
Chicken.
work a chicken, what do you mean? How do you mean work the chicken? Like the guy with
Sacrifice
the
it.
van? Oh, right, yeah.
No, I'm not asking you to go to rape van. I just need you to have a chicken.
What? Why are we talking about this again?
Dave, I have something special planned for you. I have a...
I'm not going to the van.
Well, no, I'm going to record mine as I'm
Everyone
going to
was-
What
record
people
another
don't
one.
realise is rape van is actually just a firm of cleaners in Ireland.
It's Rape van. It's Italian, obviously. Well, why do we have no customers? No one wants to get into the van. Who will come to my Rape van?
We need some more chickens.
No, I've something very special for your Sexy Biscuits enjoyment. In fact, I've actually 2 videos if what I'm planning to do works out. So, and there's no chickens involved.
Now, there is a fee, and the fee is a copy of Quake 64.
I can indeed include... I still have to sort you out for the potatoes and...
It's not just... I was joking, but I really do need to get Quake 64. No, I'm not joking about the potatoes. I want them.
I'll sort you out.
Because I did manage. It's not come yet, but I have managed to get myself an expansion pack.
Oh, do I need to get... Oh, guess what I got today? It's show and tell. Guess what I picked up today for €1.
Oh, here
It's
we
that part
go.
of the show. It's show and tell.
Yeah.
Dave, was the expansion pack pricey?
It was a bit. I paid 15 quid for it, but the thing is, I want it.
We got that, Bob?
I got one of these guys.
Oh, Exploder.
Exploder. It doesn't explode cartridges, which is...
All over your face.
But I don't know what this... There's what looks like a printer cable.
That's an old school serial port, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looks... Yeah, exactly.
So you can connect it to a dot matrix.
Oh, yeah. For printing in my ASCII art of the Belmonts, like, yeah.
Thanks for the sex, early 90s printer.
But anyway, that was cool what James
Since
just
it's
said
show and
about
tell.
Indeed.
I got that.
Defcon 5.
Defcon 5.
I have no idea if it's any good or not. It was a $5, so I thought I'd take
Oh,
it
I
home.
can't remember. That was on the PlayStation, I can't remember.
It looks kind of first-person-y, but for the instructions...
I think it's a lot like Descent, but way worse.
It's got the best line ever, Defcon 5, and absorbing and graphically stunning. When people say their game's graphically stunning, more often than not, they're bigging up shite, aren't they?
Yeah.
Stunning is in... Oh, my God, what the hell is that?
An absorbing and graphically stunning strategic thriller. Only the sharpest minds will survive. Well, I'm fuck out of dodge, don't I?
That sounds like an exam, in fairness. Yeah. I got this as well with it. Which is either fantastic or
General
shite. I
Chaos.
can't remember which.
I fucking love that game.
Well, I'm assuming it's good then.
Fucking love that game. It's hard though. It's really hard, but it's an awesome game.
I got that and a SNES mouse for the 3 of them for €5, which is about $3.50 of your Monopoly money. So it was a good. It was a good day.
I've just realised, right? If you look at Scott's boudoir, right? If we put Rich in front of his boudoir wearing what he's wearing, we'll only see the top of his head. It's like he's got stealth camo.
But anyway, back on the subject. When we were talking about burning discs and all that, he was like, "Oh, I don't know." Your thoughts?
It depends if you can get the games anymore, though, doesn't it? That's justifiable, I think.
I'm kind of like of the ilk that I'm happy to pirate something if I can buy the game and
You're
if I
right,
know.
Yack. Is he related to you, Harry?
If I know that like, whoever made the game or was involved in the game or will get some money, then I'm totally up for it. Even if they're not, even if there's a legitimate one you can buy, I'm still probably going to buy it. But if it's not available, I don't mind. Like at the end of the day, when you pirate a game or you buy the game second hand, like the guy who made the game, the production company aren't getting any of it. They're not getting any money.
You know what? If only I don't agree with it, but if only EA used that reason, to justify all their dodgy shenanigans, people probably wouldn't have that much of a problem with it.
EA took down the bloody Underground Gamer. I don't know if you guys ever. It was a site which had lots of off-site backups of games, called Underground Gamer, and it was fantastic. You had just millions and millions of torrents of backups of games.
ROMs, yes, illegal.
Illegal ROMs.
Let's not beat about the bush here.
The way I see it,
and videos and things and books, and they were taken down because they had a copy of FIFA 02 up there. That was the one that did it. That was apparently the thing that got them taken down.
Why that particular game? Why that particular version?
That's the one with Ryan Giggs on the cover and the bloke with
that's
glasses,
why
isn't
then.
it?
But the way I
Oh,
see
damn
things
it.
is that when
Yeah.
it comes to like more obscure consoles, I'm not talking about current stuff where I'm talking about obscure stuff like a Mega CD, like a 3DO, like the CDI. It's extremely hard to buy games for it at decent conditions. So what do you do?
Yeah, I know. I saw Street Fighter 2 on the 3DO the other day, and it was boxed, and this was in the wild, and they wanted 35 quid for it.
I personally, if I would pick the real McCoy over any burnt disc.
I
any
do,
day,
because I
but-
like cases.
Exactly, but if I can't find the game or it's just physically impossible to find the game, then if I like Snatcher, right? I burnt the ROM of Snatcher for the Mega CD because I know for a damn fact I'm never going to find a copy of that at a decent price.
Yeah.
But if you are watching anyone out there in copyright land, he will destroy it after 24 hours.
That was legal bullshit as well, anyway. So, like, as soon as you've downloaded it, you're a dirty pirate and we go to hell.
If you look at downloading and pirating games, right, if it's console, they should have a limit due to age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I said, if you're downloading games from a fucking console that had a very small lifespan 20 years ago, not much of a hassle, really. If you're downloading games of the PS3 and the Xbox 360, then you're
Home
an
taping
asshole.
is killing the video game industry.
The problem is, it's developers who are being assholes like EA that's killing the video game industry. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, you know what? We're gonna make sure that a game like SimCity comes on, but we're not gonna have the appropriate service to back the game up. Oh, also, we're gonna make sure it has to stay online constantly." That's being a dick.
Yeah, but then in recent news, they're saying, "Oh, maybe we'll bring in an offline single-player mode." You should have done that a fucking year ago when the game was relevant.
Yeah.
I think with EA though, it's just they've got a Woody for control, isn't it? That more so than anything else. It just
Well, it's like the whole issue with Nintendo now. They're like literally coming out and saying, "Oh, we're not going to work with Nintendo because they're not next gen like the PlayStation 4." They're going behind the times. It's like, really? Are you
Who
being?
cares though?
Yeah.
Not really, like, people play what they want to play. The hardware doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to sell more. Well, the Wii proves that. The original Wii, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this is what really bugs me.
Software sells systems, not necessarily tech.
Yeah,
That's what
and
Nintendo
it's what bugs
says,
me, though, it's arrogance, and the same thing can be said about Capcom as well. Who used to have an amazing rapport with people. Now they want to take anybody down who shows a Capcom video or who has a Capcom like a Mega Man that's on the SNES. How are you going to make money off of that game unless it's on the virtual?
There goes my Resident Evil 2 playthrough.
Yeah. The thing about Capcom as well, like, I mentioned in one of my videos, like, you compare Capcom to Namco, because you had, like, Street Fighter X Tekken.
Yeah.
They're basically, Capcom think every extra in a game is DLC. They just see dollar signs and go, "You want an extra outfit? It's DLC. You can pay us for it." You want to. Whereas Namco,
yeah,
that's absolute crap. I mean, DLC as an expansion. If it's content, I'll pay for it. But like Namco still have the unlockables. Tekken games. Okay, I know there's a free-to-play one now, and that's a whole other thing. But like, at least with your Tekken game, you'll get, if you play through it, you'll unlock stuff. Namco's like, you play through it, and you can buy stuff from us. I mean, it's just it just pisses me off. I've just totally gone off Capcom stuff.
It should just be going back to fucking earning them. You should.
What you do? You used to be working a job and paying.
Yeah, by working for
No, but saying that as well, you look at the negative stigma that Capcom's gotten, and look, they're now only apparently within the trading year that they've just had, they've only got 152 million. This company should be full of billionaires, and they're only making.
I can tell them how they can fix themselves right now.
Releasing a fucking Mega Man game.
An HD remake of Resident Evil 2. Job done.
Or even that Super Ghouls and Ghosts HD remake that they were
that would do it.
Oh yeah.
They were going to do a HD collection, decided, no, we're not going to do that. And stop fucking cancelling games when people don't even know what the hell's going on, come on.
The only problem with Capcom is the 90s ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Yeah. 90s Videogame Dude says, the 90s ended. Capcom, pay attention. He knows his shit.
They could come live around my house. The 90s are never end in my house. So
It's just logical thinking. I think
Oh,
a
does
lot
that
of
mean
these
in your
companies-
house dime bars are still called dime bars?
yes, they are.
Oh my god! Sorry, world's colliding. What's he seen this commercial on TV where there's a Cadbury's bar with dime in it?
But to be honest,
Aren't
Capcom
they
is
different companies?
No, they were bought out by Cadbury's.
Oh, because that's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters or something.
like the Street Fighter X Tekken of chocolate, you know.
They'll be doing Mentos flavoured Coke next.
I buy it.
Guys, I've got to head off.
But to be honest, Capcom is not the only one, actually.
It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
It's
No.
wonderful. Thank you very much.
No,
Yes,
listen,
Rob.
I've got an early start. I've got to take the little one out. But thank you so much for having me on. It's been
Oh,
wicked.
brilliant. Thanks for
Great. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you
Bye.
very much for joining us.
Look
Come
after
again.
yourselves. All right,
Bye.
take care.
Yeah,
God bless.
see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Keep it electric.
Can I ask what happened to Konami?
Right, now that he's left the stream, what are we going to do to that dickhead bloke?
Guys, what happened to Konami? I can't remember. Like, are they just defunct, dead?
Well, Konami, no, they're still alive. aren't
Konami's still going.
Are they?
But
What have they been
they're-
up
What are
to?
they doing?
They've been doing?
Are
And
there,
isn't there a new Metal Gear coming or something?
yeah, there is a
Yes,
new Metal
they are.
Gear, and they just released a
Are
big.
you Snake?
like,
Please be Snake. I want to be Snake.
They never,
They're still
they
doing
never
Castlevania
attended
games, right?
E3, but they did so out of choice. What they did was, Konami did a pre-E3 video and talked about all the lovely little games that they're coming out with, and then went, "Yep, we're not going to be at E3 though, so here you go."
Well, the only thing from the top of my head right now that Konami are bringing out, they're bringing out the new Castlevania game, the new Lords of Shadow. They're bringing out
How
the...
was it? Traditional style or like?
No, but there is
Here's a war style thing.
the 3DS game that came out of Castlevania is now being ported over to the Xbox 360 and PS3 as a downloadable title, which is cool because that's a really good game.
Is it the kind of Metroidvania kind of, you know, like
No,
Symphony
it's
Night
more of an old school It's more akin to the Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles,
Alright.
the PSP. Like it's sort of that sort of look.
Scott,
anyway,
can I just ask a
speaking
favour
of-
because of your mic setup?
What?
Can you say, "Hello, Seattle, I'm listening"?
I don't like saying that. Yeah.
This is Dr. Fraser Crane, and I'm
I
listening.
fucking love Frasier.
Anyway, so it's that part of the show where we say, "What did you watch last night?"
I watched
Sexy.
Archer. A lot of Archer.
I watched some Sexy Biscuit.
Sexy Biscuit.
No, you played
I
Soggy
watched,
Biscuit. You lost.
Episode 5 of Series 3 of Breaking Bad.
I've not even watched any of it yet.
I haven't watched me
Do I,
either.
do I need to
Neither.
fix that?
It's
Yeah,
good.
it's great.
Yeah, I've
And
enjoyed it.
Don't
Yeah.
spoil
everyone
it.
keeps saying to you, "You're going to
Don't
watch it." It's like
spoil
The Wire. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you're going to watch The Wire," you know. So you have to watch it just to shut people up.
I've not seen it, but
What's the other one? Luther that everyone tells me to watch.
Luther
I
was
have a
really good.
question for Michael.
That
Hello.
was good.
Do you still have your wrestling uniform?
No.
Oh, so you can't do a Sexy Biscuits intro then, can you?
In his
I have a
character.
referee shirt. Do you want me to do the referee shirt? Sexy Biscuit intro?
Yeah, but if you can rig up a green screen and make it look like you're actually in a wrestling ring or something.
Yeah, I can do. I've got a green screen in my suitcase.
There you go, job done, innit?
You have to
That's
do it
fair
like
enough.
this.
Something ever so slightly sinister about that. Do you have a
green
green screen? Yeah, I got one in my
In my
suitcase.
suitcase.
Yeah, I have a
my right van.
suitcase full
With a
of
dead
digital
body
production
wrapped around it.
equipment. Yeah.
Michael.
Have you
you need-
wrestled Michael?
Sorry?
Have you wrestled Michael?
Yeah, I
Who,
did. I
me?
wrestled for the Frontier Wrestling Alliance
The
up
FWA.
in North London before the company went bust. And I got,
Okay.
How
I
did they go
was-
bust? Bad business
I suffered a
decisions
very
or...
big ankle injury because of a big cock named Alex Shane.
That's what I meant, along the lines
Oh,
of the
yeah.
other thing, that someone who didn't have the best interest of it at heart kind of fucked it up for everyone else.
Yeah, he used to basically, he would pay you, well, you'd pay him to be trained, and his version of being trained was sitting on the couch, complaining that he's tired, and getting other people who are not as qualified to train you.
Oh no.
But he was qualified then.
That old fruit.
He was just lazy.
Being a pro wrestler, it's basically passing knowledge down. It's the same thing what actors used to do and stuff as well. And the funny thing is, when he was talking about when our featured guest there was talking about the Gamesworld environment, that's pretty much the same as a professional wrestling environment. People bitch. And you
Well,
have
people
those
in most
guys-
walks of life, don't they? They find it easier to be negative than they do
Yes.
to be positive.
Yeah, and you have people involved in those types of companies who find it easier to put someone down because they're
No
excelling.
pun intended, because it's wrestling. Sorry.
Than to actually, be it helps support you
A
and
lot
grow.
of it surely comes down to the old adage, which goes back to the school playground, analogy, which is jealousy.
Yeah, but it's counterproductive as well, because when I first joined them, he went, "Oh, well, you know what? We're going to do something we're going to try and build up loads of UK promotions to combat against the WWE, who are like literally monopoly on the business." I was like, "Oh yeah, great, that sounds awesome." And his idea of doing that was stabbing everybody in the back, trying to get booking jobs with big companies so he
Sounds
can
like
make
WWE to me.
We had also somebody who was actually tried this in Ireland as well. It didn't work.
Yeah, and it was basically what he was in the business of wasn't everybody else. He was in the business of Alex Shane, and that was the problem. And I remember seeing him on the train one day after I was injured. And this was
I bet that was epic. Was it like that bit in the Matrix? Did you...
No, I just literally I was on the train, and I went to
Slam, motherfucker!
No, it'd be an old school Hulk Hogan thing. It'd be like,
Did you really
point right at him, like, uh-oh.
Well, I tried to talk to him, like say, "Oh, Alex, how's it going?" and all that, but instead he
Did he blank you?
Blanked me. Yeah, he blanked me and just walked off, and I was just like, "Oh, cool. We know how it goes." But it was, people used to say to me, "Are you an Alex Shane guy?" I'm like, "No." Hated his guts. He literally was the guy that got me set up to have my ankle broken, and I could have lost my leg because of it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, it annoyed me.
I would say something horrible
Still
about
fuck,
him,
yeah.
but if he's an ex-wrestler, then if he's actually watching this, he might kill me.
Skeleton!
Yeah, but the problem is as well, he had people that he liked, that he generally wanted to succeed in the business who never succeeded. And those who did succeed, and I probably...
Well, he wasn't interested in them. He was only interested in looking after his guys, even though they weren't necessarily right for it. And the people who were kind of got left by the wayside.
Yeah, and he always used to try and use stupid storytelling models from other companies. Like, he would do stuff that the WWE did like a few months back, or he would do stuff that W did. And you'd sit there and you think, dude, come up with your own original material. Just think about telling a proper story, tell it in the ring, let the fans get excited, build your characters up, and he didn't bother doing it. And after I finally, I had got injured, I was on crutches for about nearly a year, and I was like, you know what, I'll find something else. And it literally depressed me because I'm a huge wrestling fan. I love wrestling. Wrestling for me at that point was my life.
So am I.
It was my mistress. Professional wrestling, I literally wanted to go to Mexico because I wrestled Eddie Guerrero as well.
Nice.
For me. And I wanted, on his charge, he was like, go to Mexico, they'll treat you right.
Don't take fireworks across the border.
This reminds me, actually. Sorry, Michael.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, this reminds me. The first time we had you on the Streamcast, you started telling the story about the time that you wrestled Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you were cut off before you could finish it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a long story short. It's basically what happened was...
I'm not saying this to be rude, because I don't know who he is. Give me some... Sorry, people who
Eddie
like wrestling.
Guerrero he was one of the biggest sort of like Mexican wrestlers in industry. He worked in WCW, then went over to the WWE and became a character called Latino Heat. The problem was, like most good wrestlers, he was very small in stature. So at that time, at those day and age, 90s wrestling, you're looking at guys who kind of
stacked. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to take drugs and steroids and stuff to get themselves in a position where they could be considered a main eventer. And he did a lot of drugs. He partied hard. He drank a lot. And he was fired after the problem that was literally created by the industry itself, because he even had a point where he ended up he ended up going into hospital because of a situation that happened where he had a car crash, and he went back in to work afterwards and rehabbed, but he literally came in a month after. He didn't come in there and then, sort of thing. And it all led up to that. He ended up in a situation where it caused a lot more of excessive drinking and drugs and stuff, and he left the business.
Just stuck in a spiral, basically.
Yeah, and he then, most guys would be like, you know what, I'm giving up, I'm not doing it anymore. He decided to go on a road to redemption. He found Christianity, which was a good thing, and basically went and started wrestling on the independents. So one of the shows he was booked for was a show that I was on. And that show that I was on, I was sitting there waiting for the next guy to sort of come in. They were like, oh, we've got a surprise for you. You're going to be wrestling someone. I was like, who am I going to be wrestling? Oh, it's probably Mark Sloan. He's probably going to kill me. Or probably Douglas Williams. Because Doug's going to probably because Doug at the time was a big thing as well in British industry. And I let it go. I'm sitting there thinking, green as anything, thinking, oh, someone's going to, I'm going to go in there and they're going to beat the living shit out of me. And he pops through the curtain. And I'm like, fuck, it's Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero just just started talking to me.
All right.
Yeah, and he was literally just sitting there, and he went through the match. He goes, what would you like to do? And I was going, I have no idea. So like being starstruck, and he's like, no, what we'll do is, we'll get in. We'll do basically a bit of chain wrestling. Then from the chain wrestling, we go on to hitting our moves. What's your move? At the time, I was using the Stunner, the Stone Cold Stunner, as my finisher. And
right.
Yeah, exactly. And he was basically using the Frog Splash. He goes to me, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the move from above. One sec, guys. I've got to go and grab something. I'll finish the story in a sec.
No, Eddie Guerrero blocked once again.
Yeah.
I'm going for another whiz. If he comes back, don't let him finish the story till I'm back.
Okay. No.
Scott, so Scott, how's the admin work going?
Admin work? What are you
I
talking
can hear you typing something up.
Oh,
there.
yeah, and just chatting to the peeps.
The peeps.
The one thing that was absolutely killing me when Michael was telling that story was Rich's fucking face. He looked like a fucking psycho. Just like that. Your face when Michael was talking there was funny. I don't know if you heard me laughing, but that's what
I was interested, man.
He was like, die. He said the fucking most unsettling face ever.
Well, while we've got a little bit of a break here, we've got a question from Gadget UK 164, who says, my question to all is, are any of you going to go next gen with the PS4/Exponent release?
Not a release. I'm getting both of them, but not a release.
Not a release, not now anyway. I'll wait until Watch Dogs comes out in the spring now, I think.
I found out about the Watch Dogs situation, and I'm not getting that. I'm literally going to lose my 20 quid and not get my PS4 now.
But the good news is I'm finally going to get a 360, probably in the next couple of months.
For the party.
I got already my 8th generation console yesterday. Or 2 days ago.
Oh yes.
The Wii U.
The Wii U. Oh, the Wind Waker one as well.
Wii
The gamepad is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about the Wii U gamepad that I have an issue with, it's not the signal.
Too damn big.
You like your Wii U, don't you, Dave? Wii U.
Sorry? I like the Wii U.
Yes.
I don't like the lack of games for it. Even I'm getting fed up with that.
That was my
We have Xbox 360, we have a PS3, but to be honest, I wanted to go back to Nintendo because this thing is fucking awesome. This is the best exclusives and all this kind of stuff. So I give a crap of God of War and this kind of shit.
It is
you
good.
know what I did? I got a pickup recently of Injustice: Gods Among Us. Guess how much I paid for it?
Is it good?
eBay.
It's a great game.
I bought it for a tenner. Brand new box.
If you're gonna buy it, I would wait, and I think it's the end of this month. They're gonna have an Ultimate Edition with all the fucking DLC and all that guff on it. So it's like you motherfucker.
Is that on the Wii U or the 360?
They were talking about putting Scorpion into it.
I think all of them actually. Scorpion's already in there. I've got the DLC for it. Yeah.
I do like the DC.
I'm not too sure it's on the Wii U. Probably.
The original version is, but I'm not certain. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Wii U then. It's going to be on the Wii U then.
I have to quickly say to Michael, just to say that I'm not a complete, failure when it comes to liking wrestling. I do have this.
Ooh.
Wrestle War.
Oh, that's my favourite game.
It's my favourite wrestling game.
On the Genesis, I love that.
But in my defence, there's only 2 wrestling games I play. This and the original WWF on the PlayStation, the first one they released, where you could do like Tombstone firewalls with
Oh God!
The
yeah,
card
the arcade
game, yeah,
game.
awesome.
The arcade game.
You could do fireballs.
Yeah.
with tombstones when you were what's his name. But what annoyed me about that was
Undertaker.
Yeah.
I lent it to someone and they lent me Loaded, which is a good game. Don't get me wrong.
Loaded, yeah.
But at the same time, then they moved to another town and never gave my wrestling game back, which kind of was annoying because it pissed my mate off at the time, flatmate, because he bought it for me for my birthday. So that's an awkward situation to live in a house where someone thinks you've given away their birthday present. And second of all, it is a better game than Loaded.
Guys, I'm gonna scoot. I got spend some wife time because she's going away tomorrow night. So
yeah, I returned her.
Going to
my story.
I didn't return her. She escaped when the power went down.
She's glad to be back. She said you abused her. She said you had some weird van that said Rapé on the side.
But she does have a chip in her neck which I can activate, and he returns like a cat.
But Dave,
it's just unfortunately because he's in Scotland, it takes a while.
Dave, if you're into Street Fighter 2, you should actually try Saturday Night Slam Masters. It's also a Capcom game, which is very close to Street Fighter 2.
I did a
And you can
video
play
on
it with 4 players.
Yeah, I did a video on Saturday Night Slam Masters. It's great. I love that game.
It's an awesome game.
Actually, you know what? There is another wrestling game I really, really liked, and it's a perfect example of the first time gets it right more so, and the revisions ruin it. What was the first WWF WrestleMania on the SNES?
Yeah, that was.
I think it was WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania, wasn't it?
I
I
think
think
it was
WrestleMania, and then did Royal Rumble, and then they did Raw.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It turns out I do like wrestling. Who knew?
Raw is War.
Yeah, the first.
The
That
arcade
was one of the
WrestleMania
things
game
that
is
sold
good.
me on the SNES. That WrestleMania game. I saw it. I was like, my God, the graphics will never get better than this.
Was that a pay?
How did they not get sued for that though? By the way,
For what?
the massive rip-off of Hulk Hogan.
Oh, they did. Apparently, they did get sued, but I think it's because he didn't have the ball patch, and they never
He's,
actually called him Hulk Hogan.
He's different on the UK. That's the Japanese version, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
This
it's
is Super WrestleMania on a made, right?
Manuals.
Yeah, that's
Look
it.
at the manuals.
It's not crap. It's great. Or the SNES one's
I
better.
don't like the Mega Drive version or the Super Nintendo.
I tell you what, the
I
only
love
thing
the
is,
illustrations there.
it doesn't
Guys, I know
flip, the screen doesn't flip properly like it did in the. Well, I understand, like it did in the arcade.
I know I produce this every time we talk about wrestling games, but that is just the best wrestling cover ever.
I've never understood the cover. Is that
That
someone
is one
else's
hell of a
head? Is that
headlock.
his head, and he's like the headless horseman.
I don't think they really gave a fuck, George. Yeah, they just kinda went, it's wrestling. Yeah, it'll be awesome. And to finish it, no, I'll just fucking put it out. But it's no head. That'll be grand.
I'll tell you what I'm going to have to do, because I gave my spare copy of this to Pete, Nestastic, the last time I was over his place. So, and I'm going to head there soon, because we were going to, hang out again and do another video. So I should totally play him at Wrestle War.
Yeah, that'd be a good video.
Was the,
Pete,
the
if while
SNES game,
watching this, don't practice.
guys, the SNES game you talked about, was that a port to the arcade game? The arcade WrestleMania game?
No.
No,
Oh,
unfortunately not. The arcade, the original arcade of WrestleFest, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the one you could play as a $1 Million Man.
Such a great game.
That is a great game.
This is
brilliant.
Now, obviously, as I've admitted that I do have a slight weakness to wrestling, apparently, from these games I've played. This is where wrestling doesn't help itself by putting the word "fest" in its titles.
like Sausage Fest or Oktoberfest.
No, because Oktoberfest, I'd love to.
Wow, Sausage
To be
Fest.
fair, wrestling tends to be a bit of a sausage fest.
I think I mentioned it before, but sports autobiographies are normally terrible. But Mick Foley's one,
Oh,
he's a
funny,
it's
yeah.
like the best sports
His is
biography
awesome.
I've read.
If there's
Ever.
one,
Pick
if there's
all of
one
them.
thing, if there's one thing wrestling away from wrestling that I absolutely adore, especially in recent years, is the wrestling documentaries of certain superstars. Mostly it's all WWE stuff, but sometimes you'll find an independent film that's done by.
There was one on Spike a couple of years ago. I forget what it was about the bloke who died in the cage match.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
And it was all the behind the scenes stuff. And plus also, what's the movie with is it David
Mickey Rourke?
Arquette?
Yeah, the one that he was actually in a. Didn't he get
And he picks up the nuns and he gets them to sing "Running with the Devil" by Van Halen.
What did that say then, Patrick? Features photos from Nature Boy's
This is
private
actually
collection.
the autobiography of Ric Flair. It's so hilarious. It's written completely bad. He can't write. But the stories are
can
completely
barely
hilarious.
speak.
And somebody goes to the best big with cocaine in his nose, going over it, and they get trapped by some kind of Puerto Rican police and all the stuff. It's hilarious. I don't think that half of them is true, but the book is hilarious with the story you can tell.
I need to read that, man. I've read Foley's.
Yeah, I've
Foley's
got.
also great, but no, I'm with them.
I've got
Windy Pops.
the first two. When he first brought out, he had two biographies. I bought both of them. I don't know what they are.
I don't get how
But-
you have a second biography though. Was it like loads of years later and it was the second half of his career, or did he just jiggle things
Yeah, a
up?
little bit like it, yeah.
I think he got to the point where he basically split up into two books. But anyway,
Yeah.
I got Audacity Audible on my phone, so I started getting into audiobooks, and so I bought them again in audio, and the cool thing is it's read out by him.
Awesome! I love this kind of books.
It's like listening to like a 4-hour one-man podcast, but it's just like so cool to listen to him talk about his stories while reading his book. It's really cool.
While
Do
I
you know
was
the
a
only
student,
sports autobiography I read, and I wish I could expunge it from my memory, not because it wasn't awesome, because it was awesome, but because of what the individual then went and did. I was flying back from Canada to the UK, and I had nothing to read, and the guy I lived with was a
Benoit.
big cycle fan, and so I just went through his book collection and took
The
the
Armstrong one?
Lance Armstrong story.
Oh,
And it's absolutely amazing, and you think, what a guy, look at what he did, look at what he overcame. And I'm not going to
Now
cheat it
it's
now,
got-
because overcoming the cancer is...
now it's
that's
got
good.
a 50-page addendum at the end of it about how
Now
many
you
fucking
just,
races
when
he's been banned
even
from.
though I'm not into that sport, when I found out that he'd been doping and he was bullying people or controlling it for years, I was just like, oh, how dare you?
I know I mentioned it
Talk
before.
about Benoit.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Sorry?
It's got
Benoit.
teeth or
Chris
what?
Benoit?
Talk about
Chris
Chris
Benoit,
Benoit.
Was it
Yeah.
Dungeon of Death?
And the fact that he killed his wife and child.
Wasn't that like roid rage though? I mean, did
No,
they,
it wasn't. It wasn't fun. He apparently.
Oh, cover your burger up, I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's making my gut rumble.
Basically, this was headbots or not.
Apparently, he ended up going insane because of his years of abuse, but he was taking loads of different drugs, not just roids.
I'll tell you who's always had a... Have you ever seen Beyond the Map?
Yeah,
When I was a student, I interviewed Jake the Snake Roberts, who is a legend to me. He's probably one of the greatest heels of
He's one of my
all
When you were
time.
a student, that's sort of like a... I mean, like I said, I may not know much about wrestling, but as a student, that's a pretty big fucking, you know...
Yeah, we did the documentary about wrestling, and he was wrestling in a theatre in Liverpool. I managed to get an interview with him, and we got some really good stuff. He was quite bitter about Vince McMahon and stuff. I think one of the best quotes was, Vince McMahon makes chicken soup out of chicken shit.
Do you still have clips of that? Is it
I do.
online
I
anywhere?
still have it. I need to upload it because it's still on VHS. Because that's how long ago I went to fucking uni. But yeah, I've got it on VHS somewhere, which I need to find a way of getting it onto disc.
Those video capture cards we all use for our consoles, guess what they'll work with?
Yeah,
Oh yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's what they're actually designed for.
That's a good point. Yeah, so I'll stick it up at some point, so to speak.
It would actually be interesting because at the moment he makes an own kind of documentary on its own because he's in kind of rehab done by another wrestler by Diamond Dallas Page.
Diamond Dallas Page, yeah.
Yeah, that
he's
does make
coming
me
back.
laugh though. That Jake Roberts would sit there and shit on McMahon, but actually take the sponsored rehab with them as well.
That's it. He was always going on about like he's just people saying, well, basically, if you fall through 15 tables and set yourself on fire, I'm going to make you a star. And he's just this was back in 2001, so it was a while back. But yeah, it was just really interesting to talk to him.
But yeah, I find that now in later years, we all know what wrestling is. It's a load of crap, but I just love the stories behind. I love the stories behind the wrestlers now, and watching these documentaries and listening to the audios and reading the books has really made me appreciate the entertainment value even more and the sacrifice.
At the risk of sounding like a bit of a wanker, I think of it as being kind of a performance art. You got guys going out there and like, there's the fighting, but it's more like there's a predetermined outcome. Let's make this look as good. And you got guys basically
Yeah,
going
you
out
still
there.
get behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
going like, we're gonna get hurt. We're gonna hurt ourselves, but for spectacle.
It
You
is.
know,
It
and
is
a-
an
an
art
admiration
to.
for them.
It's all about getting to that conclusion and getting the best. It's an art form, really, of how.
It's funny you say that, right? Because it's not the same thing, but it's of the same era. But am I the only person who think that professional boxing got crap after the 80s?
Yeah.
Because you had people like Tyson and shit, and it felt like it was real, and then it all got watered down. They got so many belts, and it all became that this person beat this person, but you get an automatic rematch, and it should be no.
Yeah,
it should,
sadly
the
for
next
me,
contender should get
I
it,
missed all that stuff. I only got into boxing when I was about 12, 13, so I was,
And also
That's
the
the
English
big
stuff.
Frank lost the title, man.
It's
Well,
like the English stuff, the middleweight stuff, when it was Chris Eubank versus Nigel Benn. They were beyond epic. Those things.
Yes. I think amateur boxing. That's where it's at.
We used to jump in and go, definitely gonna happen.
Well, the amount of times you've been punched that fucking hard, he's gonna have a fucking lisp.
I think I told you guys this, but like amateur boxing, one of the guys that lived 2 roads behind me won a gold medal in boxing in the 1990. I think it was the
World
1990
Cup.
yeah, the World Cup, yeah.
Now you're
But,
every Sunday
there's a
morning.
guy called Michael Cruz, and basically he's a lovely guy, but he was part of triplets. It was him and his 2 brothers. But what he used to do, and hopefully I could say this now online, but basically because he was
knock at your door in
triplets.
a minute.
Because he was triplets, basically, he had all these, engagements. People would say to him, "You won a gold medal, it's brilliant. Will you come and open this thing for us, and we'll give you X amount?" And he'd go, "Oh yeah, grand." And he had that many of them that he gave them to his brothers because they were triplets and they were identical. And the 2 brothers used to go out and go, "Oh yeah, I'm Michael," and they'd open stuff and they'd get paid for it.
You know what? I kind of think fair play.
Because I used to work with one of them actually. So, and the other thing was, I think I'm.
You used to show up to work and go, "Which one are you?"
No, Willie. Well, one of them was called Willie. One of them was Michael. I forget the third one. But they're really nice guys. He's a genuinely nice guy.
Third one. Nah, the stigma of being triplets. No one ever remembers the third one.
It's like the third Attenborough. But yeah. Oh yeah. The other thing was I think I mentioned this on the website. But the Olympics, when the Olympics were on, there was film crews in Michael Cruz's house, and showing the family and the celebrations and all this. And my little brother was friends with his brother Robbie. And my brother, who is about 13, had just got his lovely hair shaved off, and he's a complete, #1 skinhead thing. My mum's watching the television. God, this is great. Oh, he's won. And that guy looks like your brother Gavin. That is Gavin. I will kill him.
There's 4 of them.
So yeah, my brother basically it was his new haircut that my mother killed him over. She saw it on television, so there you go. But amateur boxing, eh?
Back when Prince Nazim was cool and not an idiot who horrifically hurt people in cars and got let out of prison early.
Prince Nazim.
Hey, remember what was it? Didn't Nintendo change? They changed that game. The Mike Tyson boxing was.
Yeah,
Yes.
Because it was Lappe problem.
But it makes the original one super valuable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tell you what, of the way remakes go and games that motion controls that work, the Punch-Out game on Wii is absolutely fantastic.
It is, and it has the original included.
But you don't have to go mental. That's what I found. Don't go mental and exhaust yourself like that. Just play it like a rhythm game and just go.
It's simply the exercise, I guess.
Didn't they do a version of a Spectrum? They did a version of a
Frank
Spectrum.
Bruno's boxing.
Frank Bruno's boxing, yeah.
It's all been downhill since Barry McGuigan's boxing. I'm going to be honest with you. Wee Barry.
Thing is, right? Because it's funny, but people never remember people's great careers. They always remember their losses and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
But and he kind of for a while, Barry McGuigan got a stigma attached to him, and he was doing like commentary on boxing and stuff like that, and people just go, "No, it's Barry McGuigan. What's the point?" If you actually go back and look at some of his fights, he was fucking shit hot.
He was hotter than Lloyd Money Mayweather at one point.
You know how you know he was good? Because being an Irishman, the British media claimed as being British whenever he won for a while.
Yeah.
Until he lost and he was back to being Irish again. That's how you know you've made it.
They're all on YouTube. Some of his stuff, and plus also. He had a jaw as well, mind. The one that really annoys me, and is because I've been playing that Muhammad Ali game on the 3DO, which is shit, is Henry Cooper and knocking Ali out, and then Ali's corner cheating. Don't get me wrong, Muhammad Ali is still the greatest boxer of all time, but his corner cheating.
But it was a big fat cheat.
when they cut his glove and said, "Oh, his glove's cut," and gave him enough time to get his thoughts back together. Don't get me wrong, he may have hammered him anyway, but that was just
Yeah.
He clocked him. I mean, there's very few people who clocked Ali that hard.
Was he still Cassius Clay back then, though?
Yes.
When Cooper fought.
Oh,
No,
get
no,
this
no.
right. My mate, this is brilliant, and he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he had one moment of utter clarity when Muhammad Ali came to Bristol in the 90s or something, and it was to sign copies of his book or something. My mate got him to sign both Muhammad Ali and Cassius Clay on the same day. It said to Jason by Muhammad Ali and Cassius Clay. And he said, you got my mate's fucking pushiness. He goes, I don't go by that name anymore. And he goes, no, please, just for me. And he goes, no, I don't sign that name. He goes, oh, go on. So apparently he had a back and forth with Muhammad Ali.
And he didn't get
convinced
punched
him to
out for
sign
it.
both. Think about that. An autograph perspective, what a rarity that is.
Yeah.
One thing I love about...
You know what he said though? This is horrible. I'm sorry to say this, but and this is because my mate said it, and it's terrible. But he goes, "I figured if he was going to hit me, how he was then, I'd probably be able to get out of the way."
Aww.
And I was like, Jason, you can't say that.
There's a story about Muhammad Ali boxed in Ireland. This is seriously. That sounds like it's turned into a joke, but it's not.
He fought the triplets all at once.
No, he fought Al Blue Lewis in Croke Park, and he did fight, and then they got into the right back. But yeah, basically, there's a word in this what he says that I can't. He can say I can't, right? But basically, he showed up in Dublin, and he got out of the van. And he basically went, "Where's all the?" Well, he didn't say black people. He said that dash the word that I can't say.
What was the word? N-word.
The N-word. He said,
Nigels.
"Where's all the Nigels?" And I tried to explain to him, there's no Nigels in Ireland. He said,
He tried to steal your Lucky Charms.
My back, yep.
Now we know that Muhammad Ali doesn't like the fact that there was no Nigels in Ireland.
There was no Nigels there, and to this day, St. Patrick's Day. No, there's lots of Nigels.
Tell you what, have you ever seen the Rumble in the Jungle fight?
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
Have you seen that uppercut? It defies the laws of physics. Where he hits George Foreman so hard that it takes a second for his body to register, and then George Foreman leaves the canvas. Watch it. Seriously, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
Was famous for non.
It's like the original Dragon uppercut.
Yeah,
that
but
is.
he hits him, and he's physically on the floor for like a second after he's hit him,
Bob,
and then his body suddenly just goes, "I've just been uppercut by Muhammad Ali. I'd better jump."
Leave me in fat girl and reduce the machine.
Exactly.
By Flying Edge Games, oh great.
This is all for my Nigels out there.
I've got to say though,
Nigels of attitude.
Nigels of attitude.
Aren't George Foreman's kids called George Jr., George Jr., George Jr., George Jr., and Georgina?
That's George
Muhammad
Bush.
Ali has a kid that's
That
called
must make lunchtime really difficult around the grill.
Okay, here it
On a
is.
serious note about the grill, though, I would like to say it's brilliant. Well done, George.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love my lean fat grilling machine.
Yes.
Anyway, Michael,
But does every
finish
boxer
that
has his
story.
own grill?
Oh,
No.
yes.
Because in Germany you have also some kind of boxer who's also producing or selling grills. Is this some kind of
I
boxing
imagine
thing?
Sylvester Stallone's one right now. Buy my toaster.
I'd like to see the Prince
I'd
Nassim.
buy it.
The fat increasing grill.
The Barry McGuigan grill.
I'd buy it. Think about it, a toaster that does toast for you because if you like morning conversation with Sylvester Stallone's was, I do like to and this is about, memories from the Rocky franchise.
So, time for a bit of podcast and theatre. Michael versus Eddie Guerrero. Take us there.
Okay.
That was very Fraser Crane, sorry.
Yeah.
The whole Guerrero situation. I was totally flabbergasted when I met. I was like, oh my
Hang
god.
on, this is where he just stuck his head through the curtain, right?
He's amazing, yeah. And he was talking to me. We basically we set the match out on in regards to what was going on, what I was going to do, what the moves were between the two of us. So it was pretty much laid out as a basic match. I was a greenhorn at the time, which meant that I didn't have much training.
That like a newbie to the beers or whatever.
It was pretty much like that. So
Please tell me you're wearing trousers.
I was around. Now I'm wearing shorts.
Oh.
I was around the business, but I wasn't at that time fully trained to be in the business, and a lot of it was to do with Alex. And we basically, they went to me, right, you're going to do the start match, you're going to have it with Eddie. Went out, and I was playing the heel. I was wearing my my tights looked like striped pants, basically. I had the whole Mafia outfit coming out, went out to the ring, and then Eddie followed out. People just like freaking went nuts. You know, there was tons of fanfare, and I'm waiting in the ring, and I'm literally crapping myself at this point in time. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, this is Eddie Guerrero. I'm going to be wrestling Eddie Guerrero. If I look shit in front of Eddie Guerrero, I'm going to be fucked.
You're done, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we started up, we hooked up, we started doing some chain wrestling.
Yeah, but surely by professionality, he would have, worked you as well, if you know what I mean. Like, not made you look stupid.
No, he didn't. He was such a nice guy. He'd be at the point where he showed me a lot of love, and he didn't even know, you know? So we're doing some chain wrestling, we're going back and forth. Chain wrestling is basically when you hook up, and then you move one move to the next. So like you go for a suplex, and then he floats over, and it brings you up, and then like sort of like span me around, end up throwing me onto my back with using the back podgy drop. It was like just everything was so fluid, and I was going back and forth, and he would like whisper things into my
Sounds
ear.
like a rape van. Sorry.
He would whisper things into my ear like cool spots when we were going to do them. And the trick is as well, we had a kid outside the ring that would literally tell us how much time we've got. So he'd hold his hand up depending on like how much time we have left to finish the match. So we're going back and forth, and then he then like does this move where he shoots me to the ropes. I then overpower him as I get him with a quick elbow. I then shoot him back to the ropes, and then what he does, he sort of floats over. He does his signature moves where he flies over the ropes and does the roll, the Guerrero roll. He then locked me in with a couple of suplexes, went to the top rope, went for the frog splash, missed.
Here we go.
I hit him with my finisher.
That pool was empty.
I hit him with my finisher, went for the pin count, and then you had your 1, 2, he kicked out. Went straight back and forward, going in again. I was going to lift him up for a suplex. He counters, ends up with a 5-star frog splash, lays into me. And the great thing about these moves is when you're taking a bump, you have to bring yourself up a little bit. So sort of like you're cushioning yourself as you take the move. I took the move, he pinned me, and the crowd went absolutely ape shit. Brilliant. I looked like the premier bad guy. He was like the amazing face, you know, the guy who everybody wanted to see, and I was still mesmerized. I was lying on the floor, basically pretending I was like freaking unconscious at this point. This is when you have to sell, and he goes like behind the curtain. I get up as like the boos still keep going, and I go out to the ring, like to the curtain at the back, the gorilla position, and I walked in, and he just gave me a big hug as I walked in. He was just telling me how amazing I was. He was like, oh, you know, you need to go to Mexico, that's going to be the one place for you. And we just kept talking, and you know, we had like a pretty good night together. But the fun thing about that,
you made that sound like a date. Sorry.
Alex Shane,
After the whispering in the ear.
Alex Shane, the guy who was the one responsible for training me and one of the bookers in the company, because of that match, he didn't want to get shown up, so he decided to book himself in a match with Eddie during the show.
Right.
You know, and set himself up in a storyline with him. And it was fine. And then afterwards, you know, we just talked. Everybody else went out for drinks. I just sat with him. He wasn't drinking. I was having a water, and we just, you know, he was talking to me about his newfound religion, his respect for the business, and the mistakes that he made. And, you know, he was really open about himself. With me, I was just sitting there going, Eddie Guerrero. And I remember that when he went, he literally, a couple of months after, went back to the WWE after the show. And I saw him on TV, and I was like at home with a cast around my leg.
So when is that when it kind of properly sank in, though? The fact that obviously if you went back to WWE and then you see him there on something you watched as a kid, and at this point you obviously wrestling, was that kind of like boom, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like that guy. That's Eddie Guerrero, and I was like, I wrestled him. You know, I worked with the guy, and it was to say it was immense would be me lying. It was more than that. You know, I remember him sitting at home injured, not even knowing if I was going to wrestle again. Watching him go back made my day, and I remember even every day up to the day he died. I remembered that.
Where did he die from?
Everything that he did, his past abuse, caught up with him.
Yeah, like life just caught up with him, did
The
it?
hotel room, and he was.
But he was
set to
clean
win the
when
world
he died.
heavyweight. Well, he was basically he was brushing his teeth in the hotel room. He was getting ready to prepare for a match. He was touring constantly with the WWE, and
Just ran out
his
of
heart
juice
gave
then.
out. Yeah, his heart gave out. He just had a heart attack in that room, and died.
He was getting on a big thing because he'd won the title, hadn't
Then
he?
isn't that?
Not
So
that
they're not
long
cheaping on
before.
what he did because you said he was into drugs, but then isn't that one of the main side effects of steroids though, that they kind of fuck up
It
your heart?
enlarges your heart, yeah, because it's what it does. It
Enlarges your heart and shrinks your
your-
penis.
It makes your muscles bigger. It puts more like sort of fluid in your muscles, and the heart's a muscle, so it's going to do that with the heart as well. But you know, he used to do a lot of other stuff.
Just aged it basically before its time.
Yeah, and
Kinda, yeah.
It was kind of he was living on borrowed time, and I've known mates as well. Another friend of mine died recently because he was dealing with drugs. He cleaned himself up, and eventually that caught up with him as well. And the problem is, whatever damage you do to your body, with stuff like cocaine or steroids and stuff like that, it will eventually caught up with you. You're living on borrowed time, and it's kind of nasty to say, but with him, when he went, I was upset, I was crying, and in comparison to because I knew him personally in a sense, even though if it was a brief moment, I knew him. With someone like Chris Benoit, after I was a bit upset for him, but after I found out what he did, it was like, yeah, no, you're not redeeming yourself.
It's really strange about that whole group. The guys that came over from WCW, which was Benoit, Guerrero, Sutton, Malenko.
The Radicals.
The Radicals, yeah.
Who were the guys with the spikes?
That was Legion of Doom. The Road Warriors.
The reason I say that, they're the other ones that they've kind of pinched their image from the front of that box.
Like, you got Eddie. Eddie's dead. Benoit's dead. Sutton went off the rails. Malenko's a booker. Yeah.
Crack addict. He tried to mug someone, thinking he was a millionaire at one point, and he tried to mug someone so he'd get more crack. And he reappeared eventually, and now he's training people in the WWE. He's cleaned himself up, but again, you don't know how long he's going to be living for.
Is Malenko a booker now?
Yeah, he's been working behind the scenes for God knows how long.
Yeah. He was the only one really out of all of them had his fucking head screwed on.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the thing is, the business was like that. They tended to look at things in a sort of way of, especially with Vince. And I'm not gonna hate on Vince McMahon because he's like the biggest.
What they wanted, what they could get out of it, and obviously introducing people to this sort of lifestyle and all the benefits. If you don't ground someone, it's negative to them.
Yeah,
as much as it gives them.
It's more the fact that Vince loved big bodies. He loved muscular guys. You know, Hulk Hogan is a prime example of that.
I know he had contract then.
And and there's only certain guys that they would. Even now, they're still doing it. There was a recent report that went out saying that the top brass in the WWE, they want big guys. They're not looking for smaller guys anymore because they believe they've got enough of them. And that's not the mentality you should have.
I do know. Sorry, slight tangent just popped in there before I forget. Listening to TalkSport, because they actually had the head promoter of WWE on. This is probably a year or so ago when there was something in the UK. I can't remember what,
they normally do it every November. They have SmackDown tour.
They've got stricter dope testing in the WWE than they do in most American professional sports.
Yeah, Benoit was the reason that happened.
As in, like, we know Major League Baseball's full of the shit. But stronger than that, better than hockey, better than hockey's not Canadian, better than American football. Because
Well, they had to
people,
do
and I'll
that.
be honest, until I listen to this radio interview, I'll be honest, and I look at it and I don't know because I'm not an athlete. I mean, look.
But to be honest, it's on your face.
Well, they're all on steroids, but they were, and they were explaining their dope testing rules, and it was just like, wow, my God, that's,
Well,
that's
the
better
main-
than
Dave,
all the
but
other
this
North
is
American
it's,
sports.
but I guess it's on your face at the moment in the WWE. For example, if you have 1994, there was also this big scandal with Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I was about to
It's so
say,
big
yeah.
at that day, and it's also completely ruined the company or almost makes it bankrupt.
Yeah.
So I think that is.
What was that scandal? What, they were doped, were they, at the
Well,
time?
Hulk was
Yeah, there are
Roider.
lots of yeah.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan testified against Vince McMahon over a steroid scandal by saying that Vince was the reason why he was taking steroids. But because he looked like he was even going to go to jail at one point, and the issue around it was not the fact that Hogan testified against him, he lied. Hogan said that Vince was making guys take steroids. He wasn't making anyone take it. That was their choice. But the problem was the environment that was surrounding these people is what was making them do these drugs. You know,
Basically,
if I don't give you, like, for instance, if I say, in order for you to be in the film industry, you've got to do something. And it's rampant in the film industry as well, and I'm going to use that as another example.
Well, if I even get in a film, I'll suck anyone's dick. Oh, wrong conversation.
Apart from
Sorry.
Ben Affleck's, obviously.
The
no,
thing
I
is,
would.
you've got a lot of actors out there now who are taking steroids and stuff for roles, and they have to because they've got only a small time to get themselves into these characters. And anybody in Hollywood who says, "Oh, I don't do that," that's a lie. You know, but they do it in marginal amounts rather than the excessiveness that was happening in pro wrestling.
But to be honest, it's not even prohibited in all countries. For example, in Ireland, it's allowed to take steroids.
Isn't there something, because Stallone got in trouble for it when he was promoting
That's the
Rocky
thing.
6, and he went to Australia.
Yeah.
And that's something that's apparently only legal in the States, but illegal in every other country. And so when he went to Australia and they checked him at the customs or whatever, they said this is an illegal substance, and he got away with it because they confiscated it because it was legal in the States.
No, it's not illegal in the States. He was taking growth hormones, and what he did, he found some in the black market, and he was caught, basically. It was a sting operation. He bought them, the guy delivered them to him, and then the police basically went after him, and he threw him out.
I'm just basing my knowledge of this on the newspapers, and that's what I read. So.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm basing a lot of my knowledge on it as well. He's like, oh, I never did anything like that. But if you look at Stallone, look at the shape he's in, he's taking...
But then didn't he almost lose his arm on Cliffhanger, though? And he admitted to that, because it weakened his arteries or something so much, and he had a bit where he was, fake hanging off a cliff, and it jarred his arm so hard that it cut the circulation off or something.
Yeah, and that's the problem. He's on... It's his career, his role. Schwarzenegger again. These guys were guys who were taking excessive amounts.
By the way, anyone out there in Hollywood land, if you're thinking of suing us, we're just expressing our opinions.
Yeah, but
to be honest,
they're famous. A lot of their fame has come from being bodybuilders. Well, not Stallone,
like you said though, the 80s basically was the archetypal, Greek gladiator type bloke if you wanted to be an action star.
Yeah.
But I don't get, how does the WWE actually say, oh yeah, we have no harder controls and all this kind of stuff, but the owner, Vince McMahon, had actually this kind of, growth when he was over 70. This guy has got this kind of muscles, and he is far beyond the 60.
Oh, it reminds me of...
That's what it is.
He's a big dude,
If you look at Hugh Hefner, there is something in this. Look at the amount of exercise he does, if you know what I mean. And he's the same age, and he's not built like a brick shit house.
Oh, there was a match years ago.
But
this is back, sorry, man.
Vince McMahon just got it recently. That's the reason why I'm asking how they justify to say this kind of stuff. We have no more tests on steroids, but the owner, got this muscle, when he was an old age, but it's not normal.
Well, the way I see it, what makes me laugh when I saw, this is years ago, mind you,
You've got to stop leaning so close to the mic because you're just coming across as a radio host.
Anyway, when I see McMahon wrestle Stone Cold back in the Attitude Era, it always made me laugh when he walked in. He always had that strut, and he's like,
Yeah, and he was all oiled up as well.
He's packing fat, basically. He's packing all his shit into a tight t-shirt to make himself look fucking fussy. Always made me laugh.
Didn't Ultimate Warrior, he fell out with him, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know this from comic book stuff, because of his comic book
Warrior's
thing like that.
insane.
He went batshit crazy.
The Warrior.
His situation was he sued them for $1 million over his name.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Was that why his comic book was just called Warrior then? Because
yeah,
he
was
it.
the
Like Prince.
Warrior, and he was a guy who couldn't wrestle, still can't wrestle. I'm never going to say he's the greatest wrestler in the world. He wasn't.
I couldn't stand him either.
He was a great entertainer because he did what he was supposed to do. Come in the ring.
I just could never get the fact that those things tied there to make his biceps look big look so bloody painful.
His promos, though, man. It's all about his promos.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
You would go. Never get wrestler names. Is that there was a guy in the NWA for years called Sting, and now like
they were the Blade Runners.
Police dude never could, Gordon Sumner never went. Maybe I should sue you, possibly. My name.
Sting and Warrior were working together as the Blade Runners at one point. They were a tag team. Sting went to the WCW, Warrior went to WWE. And again, they started off as two jacked guys. Sting got better in terms of his wrestling ability, where Warrior got
worse.
Yeah.
Cockier, yeah.
And still now he talks the same way now than he did back then.
Well, testament to that, he has a YouTube channel. You go on there for 5 minutes, you're thinking, whoa,
well,
you turn that off.
Granted, most of my knowledge of Warrior comes from the stuff Linkara did on him when he reviews his comic books.
Yeah, isn't that fucking voice?
Yeah, but no, it's
straight as well.
Thank you. Someone knows who I'm talking about when I say Linkara. Because when I said that the fucking 90s video game dude,
I would if I could actually sing. I'd do you the bloody song right now. But...
Who I thought he was making a homage of the 90s the 90s dude.
You see, it's not fashionable to say you're influenced by Linkara these days.
Linkara's going to
1 second.
A lesson you should learn.
Yeah, well, after the ad blocker fiasco, he's
no, but he's in the right to say it.
He's in the right, but he was a bit of a condescending dick when the way he said it.
No, he said, look, if you don't mind, don't block these ads, watch these ads to watch my content. I'm giving you content, I'm not charging you for it, and it's true, it's the same with any YouTuber.
Yeah.
If people have got their channel monetized, say for you, Snob, you've got your channel monetized.
Nope.
If you did, though, or you've been banned from getting it monetized.
But imagine if Anton Deck said, right, if you go to the toilet during these adverts, then we're never going to come back on television again.
No. When am I going to go to the toilet?
That's different. I'm not telling you to watch the adverts. You said leave them running. So you could go to the toilet and leave that advert running, as long as it clocks in that you've watched it and it's not being blocked by ad blocker, because he loses revenue. And again, he's making money doing it. This is his career.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bad career choice.
Exactly.
If you think about it, but it's his career. And he is very enlightening. He does everything that he can do with it. But in a sense, if he wants more out of it, people have actually said, look, we'll donate. We'll do a PayPal button. We'll donate to you. You know, we'll donate to your channel and help you raise as much money as you can. I myself, again, I'm like Snob here. I've been blocked from monetizing. Don't know what happened. Google won't tell me what happened. They said I violated their terms and conditions, apparently. And every time I try to monetize my channel, they won't do it. But if I was in his position, I would have said the same thing to people. Look, you know, if you can help a guy out, this is what I need. And in order to keep this free, this is what has to happen. So please help. And that's all fair and what, you know.
Sorry about that. How rude.
It's just that everyone reacted really badly to it. Guys like the Archfiend, who I call a fucking conceited little prick.
I quite like the Archfiend.
I'm subscribed to him.
I'm subscribed to him.
Conceited little prick.
It's a Marmite.
But the same as also for this review USA is also much the same stuff.
No, but
it's actually destroying some of these great YouTubers. You know, because they're living from this kind of stuff. Even Nostalgia Critic or Cinema Snob and all these guys, somehow they also live from this kind of stuff. Even so thing, you know.
Such a sexy beast.
Well,
exactly.
Nostalgia Critic made 250 grand off YouTube alone.
Wow. Have you ever seen his video? He burns his. It's literally he burns his bridges where he hands in his hands in his notice is probably the wrong descriptive term. Where he quits his job.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Plus, also, it's funny because that's what when you mentioned it, and I couldn't find it because it's. Yeah, I'm sad. I always pay for the signed versions of DVDs. But have you ever seen Suburban Nights?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I fucking love that
awesome.
movie. So funny.
Absolutely fantastic. The David Bowie labyrinth.
Of course. No, I just love
I have no
Caucasia.
clue.
When the critic is dressed as M. Bison, every time I see it, I fucking flip out. It's so funny.
I've got that
Of
one.
course.
Eventually! Naturally!
The thing is, what makes me laugh about the critic is, first of all, everyone just made comparisons to, James Rolfe, which to me was they don't make comparisons. Second of all when people just go, it's part and parcel of the internet, and people go like, oh, he's shouting, he's swearing, or whatever. If you actually bother to, blank out all the swear words, which I love anyway, and listen to his reviews about, the stuff, fucking really obviously intelligent and articulate guy. He's just playing a character. People can't seem to see that.
Yeah, he
When you
is.
think of internet personalities like that, I think you can tell from my fucking channel name that I'm based on one of those guys on that fucking website.
Red Jones, yeah.
Plus, I'm sorry, I know I get flack for this because people go, it's the cheapest one. I just love the fucking bum reviews.
Yeah.
The bum reviews are fucking funny.
Are you as a guy?
My favourite review is The Room. I love his review. of The Room.
I just watched
Mine's Sex and the
Sharknado.
City too.
They got a new video just come out. It's the Nostalgia Critic and the Cinema Snob, so of course I'm interested straight away. And it's Sharknado. Fucking good review. It's
Yeah,
probably
but to be
one of the best
honest,
reviews in a long time.
The movie works on its own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know the best
You don't
bit-
have to
best
do
bit
much
of
as a review,
Suburban
you know.
Nights is the English review guy who's dressed as Harry Potter.
Oh, Film Brain.
Yeah, and when he just goes like, when he's arguing that other bloke who's also dressed as Harry Potter, and he calls him.
Yeah, don't Film Brain do some stuff with Guru Larry as well? I think they did some
Oh yeah, when he goes,
stuff
you
together there.
twat, and I just love it because you find like, thank you. This is how you say the word twat, North America. There's no O. It's not twat.
I thought the Guru Larry cameo in the Ashen's film was quite good. So
Yeah.
He was the mental patient.
Where he just looked like a fucking serial killer and then, hey, how you doing? Like,
Bought Ashton's original
favourite part of the
DVD,
film.
and it's brilliant. He signed it. He said, "Would you like me to sign it when you order it?" And I went, "Yeah." And when it came with a lanyard. From something completely unrelated, like something. And he even said when he signed it, he said to Dave, "There's a free lanyard I picked up in a store the other day from Homeland. I found this for you." And he just stuck it.
I have the opinion that he's probably got rooms and rooms of pounds on tap that people send him, and he's like, "How the fuck do I get rid of this?"
Well,
Oh, do you know what I found the other day? And I went back. It was at college, and I went back after college, and it closed. And I was really annoyed. And I know it's probably going to be shit. And I know if I do it, and I'm going to do it, if it's still there, I'll get those people going. You ripped up Ashens. I found a store that's selling those original Wii knockoffs.
Never mind that. I found the story of
Oh.
the Silver Skull.
You need
You know
to
the one-
send me one.
You know the ones that and it
Yes,
was
yes.
they're basically 16-bit, aren't they? Ish.
yeah. Yeah.
And there was, and this is the thing, I was looking through the window when the store was closed, and I was like a little kid in a Christmas movie going, no, because it said on the box, $6.95.
£6.95.
Yeah, they got two
Excellent.
of them. Do you want one?
Yes.
I like those PlayStation knockoffs where you open the lid and there's a cartridge slot.
The old pop
Yeah,
station.
Pop Station.
Yeah.
Where's the alarm? We need the alarm. Woo! Pop station alert.
The thing about pop stations, can you imagine a kid getting that on Christmas morning? It's
Oh,
just,
it's-
I know. The saddest thing is a kid that would
Going
get that and go, "This is
postal.
fantastic." You know,
Just
unless they
PlayStation
want to
At the age of 5, I don't think you'd care.
Small screen, yeah.
Oh, bloody awful.
I actually have one. My dad picked it up. He says, "Oh, you like games? There you go."
Oh,
cheers,
the
man.
misconception that everything game related is, gaming embraces everything. It's all on the same level. You like games? Here's this.
Yeah,
Thanks.
more-
It's basically an LCD watch from the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
And a
In
more
fairness,
appropriate
you
thing
like
to
it.
say.
What was that, Harry?
I was going to say a more appropriate thing to say was, you hate games? Have this.
There you
You
go.
will out your
That's
mouth.
It
the
should be-
preemptive term that
I mean,
means
you gotta understand the
disappointment,
the generation before is basically games stopped with Pac-Man. That's it. Everything. Gears of War. Oh, that's Pac-Man. Yeah, World of Warcraft. It's Pac-Man.
It's funny. But I've talked about this in
GTA
videos
5.
before,
Oh, it's the
but
game with the yellow guy.
Crashes on
pills.
level 100.
I had Gobble a Ghost on the Spectrum. That sounds like you're blowing a ghost. Yeah, it's funny, but people like have said to me, and I've done a video about it, and they go like, "Oh, don't you wish you were born now?" No. Well, probably if I was born now, I'd think it was fantastic. But I'm fucking proud to say that I grew up from the infancy of video games because it was better to see it punching above its weight and people, working their asses off to try and do arcade ports and stuff like the Spectrum and shit. Then someone come along, and go, "Here you go, here's a Wonderbox, you can do anything you want." What's the fun in that?
This is the whole thing. I was doing, my channel does a lot of kind of ports, reviews of ports of arcade games, and they're sort of, in one sense, they're doomed to be a glorious failure because your 8-bit, computer is never going to be able to do what an arcade does.
One title that proves that it was above its weight and beat everything else. Chase HQ, ZX.
Oh, you had to, as a Spectrum owner, you had to bring that up, didn't you? Because the Commodore version was shit.
Yeah, but Chase HQ on the Spectrum is a technical fucking piece of class.
It's brilliant. It's
fantastic.
Brilliant.
The game that basically made me realise that Specky actually was a useful thing and not a doorstop.
In the right people's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Ocean.
Now, if you want to talk about conversions that that are the ultimate, I'd say Bull Wobble on any of the 8-bits was fantastic. It's good across the board, but I mean, anyway. So I was going to say there is that it wasn't now. If you want to do an arcade, there is no arcades. But if you wanted to do an arcade conversion, you literally get the source and just fucking put it on. But there was people most of those ports, the guys didn't have access to the source code. They were just said, "There you go. There's access to an arcade machine." Right, again. I mentioned it before, but a guy called Bob Pape. If you Google it, he was basically he's the guy who programmed the Specky version of R-Type, and he wrote about
which is one of the best games on the Spectrum. Period.
It's lovely,
But if you go to the arcade now, actually, there's only console games which you can actually play. Like Guitar Hero, I could play it in the arcade.
But the problem
I can also play Dance Evolution. I can also play Tank, which is now on the Wii U.
The problem is because of the way basically the only way to have an arcade machine with better graphics than to graphically beat your home console, it would have to be so fucking high, expensive. It wouldn't be worth it. So it's all gimmicks. Everything now in an arcade is it's got a weird peripheral. It's got to have a hook.
The only game that I've seen that is new, in the last few years,
except for
that is better than the console versions, is Blaze Blue. But that's only because it's running on a PC. When you get the PC version of Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger, it's the same thing as the arcade machine.
Good point. Sorry, the reason I seem to be doing this quite a lot tonight is because I missed my beard.
Yeah, I've gained a beard now.
It's like a limb. I'd rather lose a limb than this now at this stage.
But it's funny, but as I said, if I could, I had a time machine that could make me go back to being young as well. I'd just live in the fucking late 80s and early 90s in the arcades. Because am I the only person who used to go on holiday to seaside towns? Right, you play all these amazing games, and then on the journey back home, you'd be sitting there in the back of the car. Going, when I buy the next issue of Crash magazine, please announce that this game is coming out on the Spectrum. And then literally 2 months later, you'd open it and it would just go, yes, it's coming out.
I remember the first time I played Tekken. It was in Alicante in Spain. And
how old are you?
I'm now 29, but then I was about 12.
I just couldn't say the minute this is me being ageist. The minute you said Tekken, I just went, oh god, I'm old.
Yeah, I remember that.
When the original Tekken came out, when the original Tekken came out, I played it in the arcade first in Alicante, and it was just before the PlayStation arrived. So that was the first experience of
I had the original Japanese copy. It cost me quite a bit of wongo, I can tell you.
Yeah. And I played that game, and it blew me away. I just could not fucking fathom a game being on a console. So when we left Spain, and I'm on the way home, and all I could think about is Tekken. And then 6 months later, PlayStation is, coming out, and what's the first game, one of the launch titles? Fucking Tekken. I cream my jeans.
There's a console that absolutely nailed its launch titles.
Yeah.
It didn't matter that possibly, but they actually got it right, Sony, because there wasn't a massive gap between the launch and what came afterwards. Unlike every Nintendo console launch, they got it right. They had an amazing bunch of launch titles, and then you waited a month or so, then they started feeding other stuff through. But I think that's because third-party developers just went, "Oh my god, look at the power of this beast."
Well, there was two things that nailed it. The obvious one is price between that and the Saturn. But I was when the PS1 and the Saturn launched, I was working in a shop in a electronics, electrical shops, so we had them. And like when the Saturn came out, everyone went, "Oh look, it's Sega Rally," and we played that for a bit, and that was grand. When the PS1 came out, after work, the shutters would go down, and we just fucking played Tekken for a bit.
Yeah.
That was it.
I tell you what, Battle Arena Toshiden
Oh yeah,
Battle Arena
that was
Toshiden was
great.
good as well. And
I just acquired a rental copy. I bought it from that seller I got from Milton Keynes. I bought he gave me a rental copy of Battle Arena Toshiden 2, and I'm going to do a gameplay
It's actually
video.
quite
I
good.
played
It's
that
not
a long
as good
time.
as the
I
original.
love the game. I like the original. Yeah, I really did. That's
I like the
another
fact
game.
that the original gets so trippy when you fight the final boss.
And another game that isn't that great, but I used to really enjoy was Tobal Number 1, which was another fighting game.
Yes!
Yeah.
I completely forgot that game even existed until you said
Yeah,
that.
so did I.
Did any of you ever play Bushido Blade? Which had that,
Yeah, I love that game.
Bushido Blade, that one bit of realism you never get. Oh look, you've all got swords.
I'm-
Okay, if you slash
yeah.
someone right, you just kill them.
Well, this could be your lucky day, people, because as I said in the last podcast, I've trimmed all my stuff down. Oh, you sexy ninja. I've trimmed all my stuff down because I took a leaf out of your book, Scott, which is I've got rid of pretty much all my PS2 stuff apart from stuff like Metal Gear Solid 2, Simpsons.
I'm going
Road
to do
Rage.
some more trimming, I think. There's only like
got-
a handful of games I
I'll,
want.
Sorry
I'll get
guys,
a
let's
list
see if we can get a
together, it's
focus on this.
downstairs and it's
That was the
Down a bit.
second release. It's it's basically SCES 000002 for the
Yeah, all my
PlayStation
stuff's
1.
bagged up downstairs, so I'll send you guys a link. And if any of you want like pickings on the PlayStation 1 games, like I said, I'm keeping the best ones. You ain't getting fucking Resident Evil 2
Yeah,
or
all the fucking
Spider-Man.
scraps.
Is this open
But
to us
stuff like
non-nationals?
Driver in there. But yeah,
It's Johnny Foreigners, me and Patrick.
Can I have your copy of FIFA 96?
Do you have Overlord?
Can I have a sports title?
Any Legacy of Kane?
Yes. On PlayStation 2 though.
Oh.
That's what everyone says.
All my PS1 games were stolen, and some like stuff like Tempest X3 and the original Blood Omen Legacy of Kane were in them. They were stolen at a fucking New
That
Year's
was the
party.
best one. I don't know
know.
why people got hard on for fucking
Soul Reaver, wasn't it?
Razel and Soul Reaver.
Oh,
and all
do you
that.
know? I think I mentioned this as well before, but like I love the voice acting in that. Like the guy that plays Kane is a guy called Simon Templeman, and he's a fantastic voice actor. And the guy who does Raziel is Michael Bell, I think, who does lots of. He was in fucking Rugrats, but he does lots of stuff.
Weird.
But Anna Gunn, who is Skylar out of Breaking Bad, is in it. Is in all the Legacy of Kane games.
Really?
Yeah. She's Ariel.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there
this
you
is-
go. That was her big gig, I guess, before Breaking Bad. She
How
was.
to sum up a person's gaming sort of taste, I trimmed my like 50-odd PlayStation games down to the following ones, and see if you think they match what you think my taste of games is. I'm keeping Resident Evil 2, Marvel Superheroes, I'm looking down there, G-Police, Judge Dredd, Alien Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot, Ridge
G-Police,
Racer, Tekken
yep.
2, Rage Racer,
Racer,
Spider-Man,
yep.
Ridge Racer Revolution,
Yep.
Die Hard Trilogy, Soul Blade, and Metal Gear Solid.
What about
and
FIFA?
Apocalypse.
Oh, good.
What about
I've got
FIFA?
Shockwave
I
Assault.
don't have
Look at
FIFA on
lack of got it,
PlayStation.
got
Mine's
it, got
on
it,
the 3DO.
got it.
Dave, you
Yeah,
haven't got
most
Shockwave
of them
Assault,
I
have you?
Keeping.
The only game I haven't got at the moment, which I want to get really soon, is G-Police. I remember playing that quite
Brilliant. It's so
vividly.
Blade Runner-y.
Yeah, I love that game.
So I love G-Police, Colony Wars.
Colony Wars. I got Colony Wars
Because
Red
the
Sun.
background was FMV technically, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. Have you got Shockwave Assault?
No.
Why does that ring a bell?
It
It
was
does.
We were talking about Steve.
It was a
Only Wars
weird-
Vengeance.
Shockwaves
Hold
were
it up,
like
hold it up,
Descent.
hold it up.
Yeah, Shockwave Assault was a bit like
Descent.
yeah, that sort of thing, but with like mixed with War of the Worlds. You had these alien tripod things, and you were flying in your thing. You had like FMV video on your screen, and people were talking to you and stuff. I really enjoyed that game at the time, but I bet it plays like a piece of shit now. But I haven't played it in years.
There's one game.
It's that
Yeah, I got
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. I got it
Yeah.
recently.
It's good.
Brilliant
I've never
game.
actually got around to fucking opening the
Great
box and
game.
playing it.
Dude,
Yeah,
you got to
it's
play it.
fun.
It's fantastic. I did a
It
video on
really
it.
is fun, yeah.
Oh God,
It's
let's
like-
check it out. I
Think,
think Bruce Willis.
think Robotron with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's starring Bruce
Yeah.
Willis, and the first line is "You're Bruce."
Yeah, that's the name of my
game-
video. My name is Bruce.
One game one
Does somebody
game I
of you have
played-
actually played Overboard for PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
No,
remember
that rings a bell as well.
Launch, but
This
it was really enough.
There's another game I just acquired recently on a Saturn, which I had on a PlayStation. I played it non-stop, but the title theme really stuck in my head. Was a game called Shell Shock.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tank game.
Awesome.
It does not hold up.
Really?
It's really.
Oh, it's awesome.
It was great at the time, but trying to play a game at 2 frames a second now is not good for the fucking eyes.
Okay, not anymore. Okay.
My favourite PSX game for me, Xenogears.
Oh, Xenogears. I liked, what was it? Wild Arms?
Yeah.
Wild, yes, that's the PlayStation one, wasn't it? With the,
And Wild 9 as well.
Yeah, they had the Wild West sort of theme. The first one, I loved that tune.
Another game as well was done by Shiny called Wild 9, which is basically a rep-off of Gunstar Heroes, but that was really cool. I really like
Which is no bad thing.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to bail because there are other people into his house and it's getting quite late.
I think we're going to wrap up anyway.
Yeah,
What do you think,
so,
Harry?
man.
Yep, probably a good idea.
Can we have a Schwarzenegger before we go?
Yes, you may have one. What would you like me to say?
I that bit.
Do sing Big Guns
Freestyle.
by AC/DC.
Sing what, sorry?
Big Guns by AC/DC.
How's it go?
Or Big Balls.
You know what? Just type in
Yeah,
Big Guns
Big Guns, Big
AC/DC and look
Balls.
for the one on YouTube where you get to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in it because he looks really uncomfortable when he has to wear a school uniform and do that little hop down the stage.
Well, Arnold did that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Do
They do it together with the camera underneath, and it's like, yeah, Arnie, your quads are too big for those shorts.
Oh, he really did. There's a picture.
And you thought I was making it's a good song though.
I don't even need to see the
He tries to
picture.
rock out and he just can't do it because his body's too muscular to throw down.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I'm too.
Oh, it's cut off. Oh, that was the only picture I
That's
could get.
enough.
But, it's cut off. Oh. I'll get a better one. Oh, here we go.
I'm shredding like a ninja.
You just touch the strings and they just break. I'm sure the strings on that are made from the same stuff as the space shuttle because his muscular fingers will just break them.
They're actually made from strands of Chuck Norris's beard. And then,
What the fuck?
Oh my god. They are so
wrong.
right.
Someone's waxing.
Are you ready to lock?
How did you not know that, Harry, when you're the world's biggest Schwarzenegger impersonator?
What about Back in Black?
Physically.
Yeah.
Look at the picture, right? The way there's that little red bit
that's
between his
rosy.
legs, it looks like it's highlighting his tight little shorts.
Because my screen is shit, it looks like he's wearing a mini skirt. He
This
looks
is
like
wrong. I know
one
what
of Robert
speed
Palmer's
this is.
backing singers with a guitar.
I gotta see that video now.
You just know he didn't want to do that, even if he was a fan of AC/DC. No, so Arnie, we need you to dress like a school child. What? How would they get leather hosens it fit? Everyone, you know what's going to happen,
Your
don't you? The
school
minute this
uniform, your
podcast,
hat, give them to me now.
the minute this podcast is over, I guarantee at least 90% of us are going to look up that video.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out now. Right.
Use your father. What does he do?
So, thank you guys for watching. This is another RetroUnlim live stream with awesome people, which
You forgot all of our names.
fuck's sake, not again.
come on.
Hello,
He's doing this
Seattle.
on purpose.
I'm stuttering.
It's been a long day.
Let's see if I can do it.
Go on in, Bob.
Okay, this is RetroUnlim taking it to the night. For those of you still listening, we have Retro Games 90 Dude. I can't remember. Fuck it.
Retro Games 90 Dude.
Let me do it Bristolian. You ready?
All right.
Right, you lovers?
All right, my lover.
Right, there's a bunch of us in there, and we'd all
No,
just
but yeah.
done that.
All right.
There you go, job done.
Good fucking night.
I could do a
Amateurs.
woodland.
Go on.
Woodland.
Go on.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for being yourself.
No. Let me do a lawn boy. And I just forgotten my own ending.
To all my Nigels out
See you
there.
later.
Thank you very much for watching.
See you later.
And we'll see you later.
Big up, Nigels. Big
Bye,
up.
Stay retro.
Yeah, bye bye.
Remember, stay retro, stay
Avoid the
awesome,
rapé van.
stay wicked,
Avoid the
man.
rapé van.
Dude.
Sayonara.